No shots, no prepackaged meals, and no surgery. NJ Diet is fully supervised every step of the way to make sure you are burning fat and not just losing water. You even get the doctor's personal email and phone number. Locations close by are available from anywhere with live online video consultations. Call 855-5NJ-DIET or schedule your consult today at njdiet.com. That's njdiet.com. Lose the weight for good.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. And one thing I've learned is that you buy a house, but you make it a home. Because with every fix, update, and renovation, it becomes a little more your own. So you need all your jobs done well. For nearly 30 years, Angie has helped millions of homeowners hire skilled pros for the projects that matter. From plumbing to electrical, roof repair to deck upgrades. So leave it to the pros who will get your jobs done well. Hire high-quality certified pros at Angie.com.
As a roofer, I don't have time to fail. Homeowners rely on me, so I rely on Beacon. Beacon's unique network of branches work together to get me what I need when I need it. And with the Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like GAF, right at my fingertips. Now through September 15th, purchase high-quality GAF with Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $1,500. Go to BECN.com or download the Beacon Pro Plus app today. Beacon, always building.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, it is Dom time, and we have an added announcement. The drama builds big time here with our event with Don Trump Jr. that we've been telling you about. Due to a scheduling issue on Don's, I'm not going to say Donald Trump Jr.'s. I know I had to say it in the promo today. Don Trump Jr., Dan. You can imagine with all the things that are in the air.
You sure it's not Donald Trump Jr., Dom?
No, it's Don Trump
settled
Jr.
Yet?
I've settled on that. I refuse to say it in today's promo. All of the things going on with the Trump campaign in his own operation, he has to reschedule. We're going to do that because it's even better. 2 days after the next debate, we will have Don Trump Jr., and that's how I'm going to be announcing it till they silence me, right here in Collingswood at the Scottish Rite Theater Auditorium. Just as everything that went into play, you can still keep whatever you put in for around this. You can deal with all our people beyond that. You can deal with that easily. Everything in play. September 12th, right after the next. Now imagine now, this debate with Harris, of all people. The Biden debate was one thing, but Don Trump Jr. will be on the inside right there in the room, the green room before. Give us a blow-by-blow account of what happens. And given, and I'm going to play something in a minute just as an example, given Harris and her, I can't use the word iconic. I don't care how many times they say it. Given her unusual circumstance due to identity politics, this debate is going to be, and she's going to go right after that, the slightest thing that can bring race or gender, anything else into it, or that I was a prosecutor, that's where it will go. So September 12th. Now, here's how you get your tickets. If you haven't done it yet, you were waiting, I don't know, for some reason. Now's the time to line up, 1210WPHT.com. 1210WPHT.com. And remember, there are tiers. First time we've ever done tiers with an event that I'm aware of. And the top tier is a meet and greet backstage with Don Trump Jr. I'll be there. Rose even come to this. Dan, of course. You have the opportunity to do that. All that you have to do is get your tickets now, 1210WPHT.com. Then there's a tier, of course, where you get the book, you get your reserved seat. Same place, 1210WPHT.com. But hold your place, hold your fire on this. It is going to be even better, as I said, given, and just think of the events. God knows what else can happen between now and then. Well, there'll be the Democrat convention. God knows what could happen there. And then the debate, Trump and Vice President Harris. Certainly, there's going to be stuff that comes out of this. All right, I'm going to play you J.D. Vance yesterday. Look, he bombed with his Mountain Dew joke. He had to say to the audience, oh, don't laugh so much when no one was laughing. Don't do that, J.D.
Please clap.
Please clap. That's what it was like. Sometimes it doesn't work. But listen to what he said about about Kamala Harris and gratitude that is being called racist. Now, I think this nails not only Vice President Harris, this nails just about any Democrat out there that's in any kind of leadership position, even if they posture, some of them better than others. It all comes down to the difference of how Republicans see America and how at least huge numbers of the progressive wing of the party, which is most of the party, how they see America. Listen to what J.D. says, and I hope he continues to do this, talking about Kamala Harris and gratitude.
And she talks about the history of this country, not with appreciation, but with condemnation. And look, of course, every country, just like every family, certainly mine, has its pockmarks, right? Not everything's perfect. It's never going to be. But if you want to lead this country, you should feel grateful for it. You should feel a sense of gratitude. And I never hear that gratitude come through when I listen to Kamala Harris.
Gratitude to me, it's up there in my top 5 virtues. Loyalty, of course, is another one. Hard work, driven to do that.
Ooh, a new Dom top 10 list.
Of the best values, yeah.
Best virtues.
Yeah. Well, I know one of the best emotions, if I ever did my top 10, everybody says love or something like that. I say relief. You go to the doctor, they go, get out of here. Nothing's wrong with you. Get out of here. You've been waiting for months for this.
I love that. It's fantastic.
Yeah, relief. Like right now I'm counting, should I send a drone out there to see if a ticket was on my car because I forgot to hit the button in the rush to get in here. I think I'm okay, but if I get there at 3 o'clock today and there's no ticket on, it's like,
so have you just accepted it? If there's a ticket at this point?
I accepted somebody.
Are you still anxious?
Somebody got into my car yesterday. I accepted that. And said,
tell me about that. You mentioned that real briefly. But
I think for the first time in human history, I blame Roe for this. I forgot to lock it.
Wait, hold on.
I do it automatically.
You can't blame someone for forgetting something.
Well,
that you forgot.
She did a good term when we were taking the stuff in from shopping. Suddenly, she brought both of these big baskets we have up while I was putting the perishables away.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't go back out again.
Well, it seems like it's your fault for not going back out again, not her fault for bringing it
basket. Yeah. Sort of there. So no huge damage except my quarters. I had a stockpile of quarters in there. They're gone.
Oh, man. That stinks. How much do you think was in there?
$20 to $30.
Oh, that criminal making off with that $20 to $30. Why do you have so many quarters in your car? Oh, my gosh.
Well, because
that's a lot of quarters.
Yeah. It used to be
in my brain. Wow.
Used to be parking meters. Now with Park Mobile, you don't need it. So I'm not exactly sure what I think.
Your car's weighed down by
Don't have
quarters.
to worry about pay phones. Yeah. All right. So gratitude, though, is one of the most basic and tremendous. When you have someone who's grateful that you help them and they remember that, right? And you know that because ingratitude sets us off. So as the National Democrat Party, can they honestly say they're grateful for the biggest advantage that you can have? You know what that is. To be born here in America at this time in history. What bigger starting point, what bigger advantage, what more could you ask for right out of the box? Right? Do they exemplify that? And I'm saying that, I said at this point in time, because I'm thinking back to days when people didn't have equal rights and things of that nature. So I'm taking that into account. I'm talking about now, in this period of time, roughly over the last 40 years, 30 years. Isn't that hitting the lottery 5 times in one day? Are they grateful? No, they're not. In fact, that is one of their number one things attacking America in one way, shape, or form, or at least only grudgingly having to salute it. And Kamala Harris is a perfect example of that. It comes up again and again and again. So I hope Vance continues to go down that path.
It really brings me back to, like, this new democratic version of America is unpatriotic. It's sad because you hardly ever feel the patriotism that you felt this past week at the convention.
Right. Exactly.
And I'm just going to plug again. Coming up, Don Jr. It's going to be fantastic.
So I'm thinking about that last night, and who do they send out on CNN with Caitlin Collins, who is, with friendly interviews, just awful. It's like Larry King with long hair. And Caitlin Collins,
more attractive, though, I mean.
Better hair, yeah. Caitlin, Larry King apparently got his hair cut and put into place every day to do that show. Can you imagine?
What, really?
I'd love to have a guy do that every day for this show. It ought to be on the budget.
Didn't Larry King have like 5 pieces of hair?
Nah, he had enough that they could pompadour it in.
Yeah,
so,
he did, yeah.
So this, and I haven't seen him much. This Governor Bashir was on. He's not going to be the VP choice. They didn't even send in the materials. I think he thought he would be. And he's attacking J.D. Vance and saying, he ain't from Kentucky. And immediately he was doing a lowbrow accent. He ain't from Kentucky. He's the son of a former governor,
like Colonel Sanders,
who put him into a big law firm, et cetera, and he's attacking Vance.
Are you at least open to the possibility of being a running mate to Vice President Harris?
Well, I think if somebody calls you on that, what you do is at least listen. And I want the American people to know what a Kentuckian is and what they look like, because let me just tell you that J.D. Vance ain't from here.
There you go. And he ain't from here.
The nerve that he has to call the people of Kentucky, of eastern Kentucky, lazy. Listen, these are the hardworking coal miners that powered the Industrial Revolution, that created the strongest middle class the world has ever seen, powered us through 2 world wars. We should be thanking them, not calling them lazy. So today was an opportunity to both support the vice president, but also to stand up for my people. Nobody calls us names, especially those that have worked hard for the betterment of this country.
All right, so this guy wants to duke it out with credibility. And J.D. Vance says, oh, yeah, his daddy put him in there, big law firm, daddy governor. What does this guy know about any of that? He's attacking a guy who actually lived, let's face it, a flawed culture. Isn't that what J.D. Vance is talking about? Would that be a culture that's successful, what he grew up in? And I think J.D. Vance in Hillbilly Elegy had love toward his mother, even with all the difficulties, and people in his town, but he saw the flaws. I mean, nobody touts, Dan, the best of South Philly than I do. But over the years, I see some of the flaws. I see some of the things that don't get you to succeed that I saw growing up. You want the best of it. That's all J.D. Vance did. So they're sending this guy out to try to chip away that J.D. Vance is just some kind of Yale, Silicon Valley guy. Look at his life. Look at Hillbilly Elegy. And look at rising above that versus this guy whose father just propelled him into being governor of Kentucky, and he thinks he ought to be the VP choice now. Who has more credibility? Speaking of which, I am happy to announce, I told Dan I would save this, as far as credibility, Forbes magazine says we have a new billionaire, one of the most credible voices of middle-class America ever, Bruce Springsteen.
Hey, Brucey!
Is worth $1.1 billion. Now, I said that tongue firmly in cheek. How can this guy be a billionaire and continue to mine the gold of all these tank towns in Jersey and talk about that? And he actually says in the interview with Forbes, Dan, well, he's still in New Jersey. He says that he is not too far from the Jersey Shore. He's near Asbury Park. That's within 20 minutes. I think he's negating where he actually lives here a little bit as a billionaire on his farm.
Is Bruce here to check in? Bruce, are you around today?
Are you around today? Apparently not. He's counting his money.
Oh.
Okay. All right. So $1 billion. He's $1.1 billion, Bruce Springsteen. All right, let me give you
That's
the side
crazy.
question.
I thought he was a farm guy, living a blue-collar life.
Oh, yeah. Well, he says he's still near Asbury
Not like he
Park.
has a daughter that does dressage.
As soon as I saw that, around the world she does it. Right there.
About that. I was just counting my millions. I'm worth $1 million, can't you see?
Okay.
Come on, what's going on win?
All right, just go away, Bruce.
All right, Bruce. Count that money.
1, 2,
All right. Yeah, you're
4,
going to
5.
count the rest of the show. Count by 100 millions. Okay, side question today. Today is National Gorgeous Grandmom's Day. So what we'd like to hear from today on the side question is somebody who aged gracefully. They aged well. I'm going to take off the board the most obvious, and one's not so obvious. Dolly Parton, of course, is an easy one. Dallas Cowboy cheerleader
yeah, that's
thing.
kind of where
that's
I'm like,
pretty.
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to take, for the ones that like to go outside the box, Dorian Gray off the board.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's aging gracefully, right? But now deal with the devil. Methuselah, too, is in the same camp. All right, Dan, how about yours?
It's funny. Wait, I'm just maybe not. I thought he played him at one point, but I guess not. Keanu Reeves was my answer today. I think that guy's a vampire. Through the generations, it seems like there's been someone that looked like Keanu Reeves, and he still has yet to age. He's 59 years old, Dom. He looks fantastic. He looks like he's 32.
Yeah, I don't know if he works out voracious or whatever he does, but in Speed, for example, he looks pretty much like he did in Speed. The hair's not as good, but other than that, yeah, it's pretty much the same.
And how about, I'll take another guy. I guess, I'll even things out a little bit. How about Rob Lowe? You know Rob Lowe?
Well, yeah, now he's just blessed. I mean, there's no doubt.
Yeah.
The guy he's a premier example. I'd love to know what he does, or is he just lucky? It's genetic.
So I pulled up a list of people who age gracefully.
Yeah.
Edie Falco's on there, and I think that makes sense. I think she's looking good, right?
Right.
But Quentin Tarantino made the list.
Mr. Tarantino and I will discuss that the next time he's on. I don't see that with Quentin Tarantino. No, I don't think he ever looked that good. He's a genius at what he does, but
also on the list is Jim Carrey. I mean, have they seen him recently with the beard?
Yeah. Well, David Letterman, if we're doing who has not aged well. Wow. All right, you get in with all that.
Gorgeous Grandma Day, Dom.
Gorgeous Grandma Day. That's the side question. This gratitude attack. Now, you have to be careful. Everything you say is going to be racist. That doesn't mean you cannot push back on Harris. Now their argument is, well, Republicans called her the border czar. She never called herself the border czar. So they're going to try anything to escape, and the media is giddy right now to try to help her escape. But I'm predicting over enough time, and there's enough time here, she'll revert to form. She's hot now. She'll revert to form, and that means mediocre at best. Just avoid the fatal mistake of stepping in something that's racial that they can play with for a month. All right, breaking news, the Secret Service director has resigned. She's the small fish here. The bigger thing I'm going to talk with Sean Parnell about is unanswered questions coming out of this. And it's not even just about protecting presidents. It's about also getting to the bottom of this so that people can be assured that this was just rank incompetency versus something worse that was going on here. All right, 855-839-1210. You get on board with Dom and Dan on Talk Radio 1210.
Don't you, baby?
Hi, it's Nick Kale. The first Wednesday of the month, we shine a spotlight on one outstanding local veteran on our Veteran Spotlight in partnership with the Travis Manion Foundation, celebrating their remarkable commitment to community service and their exceptional service in the military. Wednesday, August 7th, we honor Air Force veteran Kathy Christian for her service and contributions to the veteran community. Presented by Window Nation. For all of your window and door needs, visit windownation.com.
Do you have a property that you no longer want? Maybe you inherited the property. Maybe you're underwater in the property. Or maybe you're just a tired landlord, tired of dealing with tenants. Listen, I can buy those properties, and I'll buy those properties fast. I can close in 2 weeks. I buy properties cash. My name is Larry Steinhaus. Give me a call at 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137, and I will personally answer the call. You can also visit easyOutRealEstate.com. This is Larry Steinhaus of Investor Schooling. Did you know we are having a full one-day event on August 17th? It's called the Money Hacks event. You want to come to this event and you will learn how to become your own bank, how to invest in real estate without any money. You will learn the stock market, and you will learn how to build credit for cash-flowing assets, and so much more. It's a full day packed with information. Use the code 1210, that's 1210, to get a 50% discount on the ticket. Go to 4mmw.com, that's 4mmw.com, and register today.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you raising the child of a loved one? You're not alone. Like many others, you've stepped up to raise the child of a friend or family member, allowing them to live, grow, and thrive among people they know. While fulfilling, it can also be challenging. But there is support. PA Kin Connector helps kinship caregivers just like you by providing connections to resources, services, training, and support groups. Don't navigate the journey alone.
Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-353-9057. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-353-9057. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-353-9057. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-353-9057. 800-353-9057 or biglou.com.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
All right, Dom Giordano Show got the side question. Gorgeous Grandmom's Day. Kamala Harris, Vice President Harris, even though she presides over the Senate, I don't know how many times she's actually done that, will not be there for Netanyahu tomorrow. Biden, Harris, or Blinken even. They didn't even send Blinken. Didn't meet him at the airport. I mean, it's unparalleled, unprecedented. Which also leads us to Josh Shapiro. I think that it's an obvious choice. I don't want to help them in the slightest, but I would worry about Pennsylvania if he's the VP choice. I'd worry about it big time. I'm being honest with you. I mean, it would make me want to win even more just because this guy is dangerous, the great masquerader. But I don't see how she can pick him. They see that Israel. How many of them are going to walk out tomorrow night? How many of them just cannot recognize the rights of Israel? And Kamala Harris is going to meet with Benjamin Netanyahu. I can imagine the lecture she'll plan and how she'll spin that out. So here is John King on CNN, just a reminder, bringing that up and saying, look, Shapiro looks to be a moderate to people. He doesn't have a huge national profile, but he's popular in Pennsylvania on paper. I'm saying on paper. And that's the key state. If you win that, you win the presidency. And he would get you a point or two. There's only one downside to this. Here's what it is.
Pennsylvania's Governor Josh Shapiro is being discussed as one of Harris's potential running mates. He also endorsed her tonight. In your view, what are the pros and cons for putting him on the ticket?
Well, he's certainly under consideration. I know that from key Harris allies. He's a first-term governor. He's Jewish. There could be some risks in putting him on the ticket, but certainly some of our voters here in Pennsylvania said, hey, we like Governor Shapiro, give him a look. Also told Anderson that some other governors, Senator Mark Kelly of Arizona, are on the list of the Harris team. One Harris ally told me today they hope to get her within a few days, assuming her path to the nomination continues to look good, and it does tonight, but we still have some question marks. They hope to get her a list, they say within several days to a week, of 4 or 5 names for her to pick from.
All right, how about fleshing that out a little bit, John King there? Why? Why is it that Josh Shapiro? Are we living back 50 or 60 years ago? You can't blame the right wing on this anti-Semitism. Why would Josh Shapiro, why would that even be a second thought? Because they seethe with it. That's who they are. They're radicals. They hate Israel. They hate Netanyahu. They don't want Israel to have the right to protect itself or anything else. A lot of them are not unhappy about October 7th. Some of them even deny it. But J.D. Vance, I hope he continues this line of attack. It'll be called racist. It already is. Here's Van Jones, too, telling us, and this is the card they're playing, anything you say about Harris. That's why taking this apart with Harris has to be all out, but it has to be careful. I know some people can't think, well, why does it have to be careful? Because we don't want to give them anything that independents and others think, oh, that was racial. That's why you got to think it through. There's enough to criticize here, a tremendous amount. One thing I've seen on Twitter, I wouldn't use as a line of attack. It's kind of subtle. And people bringing up, well, she can call herself Mamala all that she wants. She never had a child. Now, if you go there with that and you go too strong with that, people who also chose or could not have children might be resentful. I don't see how that's racial per se, but she has been very successful at skirting that issue and saying she's a mamala, blended families and all that stuff. And she's used it to her advantage. Dan, what is this on Twitter, this attack against Shapiro?
Yes, you're talking about Shapiro being a tough option for Democrats for the realistic nature of their hyper-progressive sect of BDS, pro-Hamas protesters being anti-Jewish, anti-Semitic. And your point has been proven. A very, very influential, well, not influential, it's 90,000+ followers. It's an account called Dear White Staffers on Twitter. They just posted this 2 minutes ago. Dear White Staffers, it has a Wikipedia page and everything, and how Wikipedia summarizes it. It's an anonymous Instagram or Twitter account that documents instances of alleged poor behavior by sitting members of the United States Congress. With their page, they have multiple flags of Palestine on there. And they just launched Josh Shapiro's campaign did not pay a survivor for sharing their story. This is exploitation. And they show an unfounded text message from somebody, an anonymous individual, who claims that their trip to Planned Parenthood was exploited by the Shapiro campaign and they weren't compensated for their story. So attacks are already starting against Shapiro to try to make this guy look like some kind of evil person and not a good candidate for the VP.
Okay. Yeah, and some of that, to your point, some of it is, the more you move ahead, the more you're going to get attacks. But this is going to be the zone of attack. And 2 stories, and one I'll develop throughout the show. One, is the media covering this? No, we've been on it for a while. That's exactly where they're going to go. Can't have this Jewish guy, defender of Israel, on the ticket. They're anti-Semitic. 2, yesterday we broke the news, officially broke it, with Scott Presler on the show, that Bucks County had flipped from blue to red, and it's increasing. Think of it, something like 389 change since the last time we told you about it. It's substantial. It's going to remain red through this election. I have a note because I'm kind of correspondent friendly with the Doylestown Republican Committee, and they say last Monday, Bucks County was 112 voters away from flipping red after trailing over 15,000 after the 2020 election. 4 weeks ago, we flipped Doylestown Township red, which is surprising. Yesterday, Bucks County flipped red. We now have 277 more registered Republicans and Democrats. Here's the question. Bucks County Courier-Times. Come on. Now, I wrote for that newspaper, Dan. I have people there that I like, but it's not bustling with news and all that. You mean to say they don't know that yesterday, that Bucks County went from 15,000 in 2020 up as a blue county on paper registrations to red? They don't think that's news? They don't think that's front page in the Bucks County Courier-Times and the Intelligencer and all those newspapers? And why is that? At least this morning they didn't have it. Now, are they going to have it tomorrow? Philadelphia Inquirer has not written about it. I haven't seen it, and I scanned all the local TV news platforms. Why is that? Why is that not a story, at least a mention? Well, we don't like that story. If you had something reliably red that flipped like this from 15,000 up to being down, it would be a story. So we're going to continue to keep our eye out to see if they're going to tell people that. I find it to be inspirational. This is the ultimate swing county. Presler is now on to Luzerne County. I think the Republican Party out in Bucks County, Pat Pavrak sent me a text, did a very good job on this too. And I think it's an indicator in the suburbs where, shockingly, Democrats have had their way. So what is it that has changed? Because the mores of the suburbs are still hard for me to imagine how anybody would want to have all these Democrats out there. I think that's why you move to the suburbs to get away from them. What has changed? Is it Trump? Is it Biden? Is it inflation? Why in a major suburban county, Bucks County, would it go from 15,000 registrants advantage to Democrats to now down and increasingly going down? What's the reason? It's not just a glitch, just a period of time that will pass. Something's happening in the suburbs this time. I'm not saying Montgomery County. They still have lost their minds. But Chester County has a shot to do that. Delaware County, yeah, that's even more hard to figure out. Why Bucks? Well, it's a swing county. They have strong conservative groups in part of it. The party's pretty strong there, and Scott Presler set that goal. But why? Why are people now changing that registration? All right, phone lines to get in are 855-839-1210. Coming up, we're going to talk with Captain Parnell, Sean Parnell, who's leading the mail-in balloting campaign in Pennsylvania, but more importantly, was right there near President Trump when the shooting happened. What did he hear yesterday from this now deposed Secret Service head, and what does he want to hear the answer to next? At 855-839-1210. Hey, get ready for a gift from Rescue Natural Supplements. It's their Christmas in July sale. That's right. The season of giving is making a summer comeback with huge savings. That means all health supplements will be slashed up to 50, 60, even 70% off site-wide. Treat yourself with savings on heart-healthy omega-3s, pain-relieving anti-inflammatories, natural immunity boosters, and so much more. To order, call 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a rescue product consultant or shop online at res-q.com, res-q.com. Again, don't miss Rescue's Christmas in July sale. Shop savings up to 70% off all natural solutions for your highs and lows, from high blood pressure or cholesterol to low energy or testosterone. Rescue's got you covered. Hurry on over, unwrap the joy of a healthier you at res-q. Do it today.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
There's nothing quite like local. Local is your weekly farmer's market or homemade strawberry ice cream. It's live music on the corner, yoga in the park, and a chance to try something new. That's why AARP is local, right here in our community, offering free events and enriching experiences that can help with finances, family, and fun. Join AARP Philadelphia on July 25th for a virtual tour of the Renoir and Women exhibit at the Barnes Foundation. Learn more at aarp.org/local.
Tune in to Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturdays at 11 a.m. to hear Phil Cannella and Joanne Small. The Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturday mornings at 11 on Talk Radio 1210.
Now that it's sizzling out, is your AC fizzling out? Beat the heat with Horizon Services. Upgrade that old unit for 0 down and 0% interest and get up to a 12-year warranty on a new HVAC system. Plus, save up to $3,500 in free upgrades and rebates when you schedule your free estimate. Same-day service, expert technicians, and a job done right the first time. Need service today? Visit horizonservices.com and Horizon is on the way.
Guess what, people? Wendy's has new saucy nugs. You heard me. Wendy's nugs now come in 7 saucy flavors. Buffalo, honey barbecue, garlic parm, spicy ghost pepper. You can literally hear your taste buds after every bite. I'm serious. Listen to mine. Okay, that's just me playing with sound effects. For a whole new way to nug, gotta be Wendy's.
Gotta be fresh.
Open till midnight or later.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, hours may vary by location.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
A humid air mass remains in place across the Delaware Valley. It'll be partly sunny and very warm with a high of around 89. Tonight, warm and muggy with a shower possible, low 74. And for Wednesday, mostly cloudy, some showers and a possible thunderstorm with a high 85.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Today, we're the largest injury firm in the world, and I'm thankful to you for trusting us all these years. We'll always be here for the people, not the powerful. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
All right, Tom Giordano Show. So yesterday we see the outcome today, that we have the Secret Service chief out. Exactly. But that's not the end of this. Don't you have to answer any number of questions that she couldn't answer? Is it the FBI next? In order to reassure people of something more awful than just their sheer and utter incompetency, that there was something up here when it comes to the protection of President Trump. Let's go to... Go ahead. Go ahead, Dan.
Service routinely record communications between and amongst detail?
Radio communications?
Any communication.
Oh, come on, Kim.
Email communications are captured, as well as text messages, and then depending on the detail, radio communications are recorded.
Does the Secret Service have recorded communications from the July 13th event?
We do not have radio communications from that day.
All right, let's go to Captain Sean Parnell, who was feet away, could have been shot along with his wife and a 95-year-old right next to him. Let's go to Sean Parnell. Hey, Sean, welcome back to Philadelphia. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Dom, thanks for having me.
Well, a lot to take in yesterday. She's gone now, obviously, in the middle of this, and incompetency up and down the line. But what is it that should happen next, do you think? Is the FBI the next source to answer the questions that Americans have on this?
Well, let me tell you, first of all, I listened to the entire thing yesterday. And what was immediate apparent to me, you talk about like the deep state or entrenched bureaucrats, call them the blob, call them whatever you want. But when I talk about the deep state being a danger to this republic, yesterday was a perfect example of what I mean. Because it became very clear, Democrats, Raskin specifically, started off the committee hearing with talking about AR-15s and all this gun stuff. But I think it became very apparent to both Democrats and Republicans in that committee hearing yesterday that the director of the United States Secret Service, Cheadle, was lying and obfuscating. And then I think it made everybody angry. But that's what I mean. Here you have an entrenched bureaucrat, is unelected, and here we're talking in that committee hearing, Dom, that those Democrats and Republicans, they are the representatives of we the people, asking questions on behalf of we the people. And for her to obfuscate, lie, and not answer those questions is an insult to not only the people who were wounded and killed that day, but an insult to the American people. And that is a danger. A Democrat or Republican, entrenched bureaucrats that are unaccountable, especially in the wake of an assassination attempt on a president, are a danger. It's a danger. So
I agree with you, Sean.
About the next.
And Sean, one of the things she said, well, we have 60 days to issue this report. We had on the former head of the Capitol Police, who's a friend of the show. He talked about this hot wash report that you would do instantly after an event like this. You can go back and clarify something if you want, but that's not a law that they get 60 days. Somebody's got to change to your point, the culture there, where there has to be an immediate report on something like this.
Yeah, right. And I would just say this. First of all, I agree. But given everything that I just said about entrenched bureaucrats perhaps being a danger to our republic, and no, I'm not talking about the Secret Service agents on the ground or boots on the ground FBI investigators. I'm not talking about that. But there's something clearly wrong with the leadership of these institutions. And the next question I think our representatives, both Democrat and Republican, need to ask is, do we entrust these entrenched bureaucrats with conducting a transparent investigation into all of this? And if Director of Secret Service Cheadle or former director's testimony on Capitol Hill yesterday was any indication, I think the answer to that question is, of course, no. It's not going to be a transparent investigation. So I think what's needed is a special commission and not a congressional committee. Because you got to keep in mind, Dom, there are only 20 days left until the August recess, which members of Congress go home for the entire month of August. And guess what? Then when they get back, they're in campaign mode. So unless there's a special commission appointed prior to that August recess, special commission would be comprised of external experts with experience, actual real-life experience in law enforcement, national security, intelligence. Unless that special commission is in place prior to the August recess, I don't have a warm and fuzzy that anything's going to get done. And guess what? You got Kamala Harris, you got President Trump, you got people campaigning. Look, this isn't a partisan thing to me, whose lives could be at risk unless techniques, and procedures aren't adjusted prior to then.
Yeah, exactly. Well, to me, the big thing is because I still don't, I'm not in the conspiracy camp, but this is incompetency on levels. Well, for example, it's not even incompetency. No answer on why the drones were not up there. Just no. Oh, the latest today, I don't know if you saw this, Sean, that Josh Hawley apparently has some pretty good whistleblowers. They did have someone on that roof, and they let them get off the roof because they said it was too hot. And I don't. Yeah. I'm in a camp that thinks they would do something like that rather than it's a conspiratorial excuse. What do you think?
Well, and I'll tell you this: was right there, look right at that building. The building is two-tiered. So even if they were looking out that window in the upper tier of the building, those windows look out on the flat lower window that the would-be assassin was laying on. So even if they were in that window, even if they were looking out, they'd be able to see him. And look, conspiracy theory, isn't it a shame that we even have to caveat all of our discussions with things like that? Because I think certainly willful negligence has to be on the table. When you look at all the things that this government, our own government, has done to Donald Trump, even prior to him winning the presidency in 2016, is it possible, and this is just a question that I have, if I were down there in D.C., I'd be asking it, is it possible that they deliberately starved the Trump campaign of resources to put the man at risk? I'm sorry, but if that question's not on the table, it's impossible to roll it out, and it has to be on the table.
We know that she wouldn't answer. How many times did the Trump people ask for the added resources? That's not a matter of national security. I mean, it's just not.
Exactly. I mean, listen, platoon leader, combat leader in the Army, was in the Army for 7 years, was in a lot of different firefights, some of which went pretty bad. People made mistakes. If my leaders were asking me, hey, what happened here? Who's accountable for this? What did your assault team do here? Was the support by fire in place? I would be able to answer those questions directly. This is me spending 6 years in the Army. Well, Cheadle spent 28 years in the Secret Service and demonstrated zero knowledge as to how that organization operates, as to who's accountable for what. She couldn't even answer questions. By the way, we know that she knows the answer to these questions. That's what's so insulting about all this. Like the question of, was the weapon on the roof overnight? Like, in other words, did this would-be assassin put the weapon on? She couldn't even answer that. Are we the people? Are we not entitled to this information when the people were targeted? People were targeted, not just Trump, but people in that audience. And it's just Democrats and Republicans better get their act together real quick, because there seemed to be some sort of bipartisan consensus in that committee hearing. I mean, look, you will never hear me talk about AOC this way. We disagree on just about everything. But her question about the max effective range of an AR-style rifle being, 400 yards, and then directly asking the director of the Secret Service, like, well, shouldn't your security perimeter be at least that much?
Yeah, well, she's the one that also brought up, no. In this day and age, social media and everything, you don't get 60 days to give a report. Right. We need the preliminary report right now. Yeah, 2 for 2 for AOC. Who would have thought that? But you're right. Urgency is on the table now, because once they go home, nothing happens. And again, I agree with you. We need some outside party. Otherwise, we're going to continue to go down this path thinking they would actually put Trump at risk here, and they got what they want. Well, they didn't get what they wanted, because it helps Trump that he survived this.
Yeah, and I think if the committee that they got 20 days left, right? So I think you also have to look at subpoenaing some of the members of the Secret Service, the leadership of the Secret Service that left, because my sources tell me that within that organization, they say that things just got so bad, the organization fell apart, and overt focus on DEI when they should have been training on personal protections. And people left that organization because of a massive cultural shift after Biden took office. And they should subpoena former members of the United States Secret Service to talk about just that, because ultimately that's what got us into this situation in the first place.
Well, Sean, the person I wanted to hear, and I would bring her in and then maybe take a break and bring in who was in command on the ground, because maybe that gets you to what orders was that person getting and their sense of this. And if they refuse to answer, well, then they're out too, and we bring in somebody else until we get finally a specific here.
Absolutely. And here's another thing. It's just unfathomable to me that they don't have comms, the communications that were recorded that day. It's unfathomable to me that they don't have some sort of body cam footage from that day. Who signed off on the security plan that day? I mean, she couldn't answer any of these very, very basic questions. And I'm telling you, this is some of the most disconcerting stuff that I've seen in politics. And this comes, in a week has just been unprecedented on so many levels. But if we can't protect our people, and I'm talking Democrat, Republican, and the American people who go to exercise our First Amendment right at these rallies, if we can't protect our own people, we're a real dangerous spot.
Absolutely.
Real dangerous spot.
Any updates on the electoral going across the state, the mail-in ballot and everything else? Last time you were with us, I was thrilled with what your projection is, Sean.
Well, like I said, I'll reiterate it for people who maybe didn't hear me last time, but we are in a place where we could realistically hit 600,000 male voters this cycle. And to me, that's outcome determinative. And so much about this, Dom, is just doing the unsexy work of reaching out to people, encouraging them to vote by mail, that the fact that it will be safe, it will be secure, and you have to fight like your political opponents. I don't like mail-in ballots. If I were the governor of Pennsylvania right now, I would disallow mail-in ballots. But guess what? In order for any Republican to be the governor of Pennsylvania, you have to fight with the political rules as they are, the rules on the battlefield as they are. And so my goal this cycle is to be better at chasing down mail-in ballots and registering Republicans than the Democrats. And the good news is that the Democrats have been real good at this the last two cycles, and frankly, their well is running dry.
Yep.
Well, Republicans, our well is largely untapped, and I think we're seeing a lot of success there.
Well, I never thought I'd see the day to go from that combat. Then you were going to do office. I see that, but not the mail-in ballot kingpin. But you take things as a mission, and we both agree this is the key. If we come to that point, we're going to win Pennsylvania, even if Josh Shapiro's in the ring. I don't know about you, but we're going on full cycle 24 hours a day if Josh Shapiro's in the ring.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's going to be real interesting. Obviously, Josh Shapiro is a strong and shrewd politician. Let's just you got to be honest about your opponents. But will the Democrat base accept him, given that half of their base are pro-Hamas terrorist sympathizers? I just don't know. And so I honestly think, this is how the Democrats think. This is how they operate. They keep and maintain power by dividing America, young versus old, rich versus poor. This is just what they do. And for that reason, if I had to be, I don't know for sure, I have no insider information, but I think the Democrats would maybe go with somebody like Mark Kelly, because Josh Shapiro being Jewish, and by the way, this is completely unacceptable, but this is how the Democrats play. And if they brought him on, would their base accept him? Half of their base, Dom, are pro-Hamas terrorist sympathizers, right? It's just the truth.
Well, no, exactly. And that's why Kamala Harris is even more dangerous, because she's almost right there at the base, much more so than Biden, who just did it to play along with it. I think he's still pro-Israel, but he played along enough because he realizes exactly what you're saying. They're anti-Semitic or anti-Israel or both. Sean, thank you. Thanks so much. Any angle, anything you hear about, we'd love to talk with you again.
All right, my friend. I'll talk to you soon, Dom.
All right, Sean Parnell here on Talk Radio 1210, 855-839-1210. All right, Kamala Harris is being endorsed by just about everybody in the world. Who is getting a lot of pressure, though, finally, to endorse and enter the big race? Much better endorsement than having to endorse Biden. Who is that? And if this person did it, would it matter? Straight ahead at 855-839-1210.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
The biggest question, which makes me wonder if, in fact, it was a coordinated inside job, as Chompy Blobber, or whatever his name says.
Sloppy Chris Christie.
Sitting in his basement, typing mean tweets. Shut up. As you guys know, I get a lot of emails and tweets, text messages from people saying, are there people controlling your narrative? Nobody controls our narrative here. Let me say that at 7:50 in the morning on Morning Drive, when I know tons of people are tuning in. Nobody will ever control the narrative on this radio station, except for the people that have talk shows here. Yeah. The end.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Why are prices spiking in Pennsylvania? It's simple. It's inflation. And Senator Bob Casey's reckless spending caused the problem to grow. Casey joined Washington liberals in voting for trillions in reckless spending. All of Senator Casey's spending caused inflation to get out of control until disaster. Everything is too expensive, from gas to groceries, and Senator Casey helped create this mess. Worse, Casey voted to allow COVID relief checks for illegal immigrants and convicted criminals, even murderers. Senator Casey voted to allow more money for illegals, leaving less for us. Call Senator Casey at 202-224-6324. Tell him to put Pennsylvania families first and fix his inflation disaster. Support S575, the Fight Inflation Through Balanced Budgets Act. Paid for by One Nation, onenationamerica.org.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. We all love summer, right? But the beach isn't just for summer. In fact, the beach, and in particular the Cape May beach, is just beautiful in the fall. If you haven't been to Cape May in the fall, you're missing out, and you should book your stay at the Grand Hotel of Cape May for a September to remember. The Grand offers special midweek packages so you can enjoy the beach without breaking the bank. Stay 2 nights and save 10%. Stay 3 nights, get 10% off and $55 a night in resort credits. Stay 5 nights, you're going to get 10% off and $65 a night in resort credits, and they can be used at Hemingway's for food and drink, the gift shop, and so much more. The Grand offers guest rooms, suites, and townhomes equipped with a kitchenette, and they have 2 huge heated pools, 1 outdoor and 1 indoor. I'm telling you, the Grand is my happy place, and you will not be disappointed. Book directly with them for the best rates. Book your stay today at 800-257-8550 or visit them online at grandhotelcapemay.com. And our next live show is Friday, September 6th. So book your stay today, grandhotelcapemay.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 40-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term life insurance may only cost you about $100 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-353-9057. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Providers help thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-353-9057. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-353-9057. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. For affordable term life insurance, call 800-353-9057, 800-353-9057, or biglou.com.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
All right, Dom Giordano Show. Who is that endorser they yearn after, under even more pressure now to endorse? Well, maybe she wouldn't be. There wouldn't be as much backlash now, I guess, if she endorses Kamala Harris. That would be Taylor Swift. Is that endorsement easier now? The woman, she'll play up that whole thing. We'll see if she takes the bait on this. She's avoided it before, even though she's talked pretty big about it. I'm looking at this, and I want to continue to talk about it. More on this guy, the governor of Kentucky, who was rumored to be a VP candidate, but even hasn't been asked for the paperwork yet. And I saw this on a service Dan and I use Mediaite, saying he's accusing J.D. Vance of stolen hillbilly valor. Remember stolen valor? You're not in combat. You claim that Dang Dick of Connecticut, the senator, right? He may have been in the military, but he was nowhere near anything like that. This is what Democrats do. This is very reminiscent of President Obama, Roanoke, Virginia, with his loser mob there saying, you didn't build that. You didn't build that. Who are you kidding about small business people? Stop it already. We did this. The roads you traveled on. The educated workforce, right, really, in Philadelphia. Trying to build that? Yeah, they're trying to. Elizabeth Warren did the same thing. Always trying to take away what the individual did. No, I think J.D. Vance has every right to talk about so-called hillbilly lifestyle and what he grew up in, the pitfalls and all of that, rising to go to Yale versus some punk whose daddy put him in a big law firm and then made him governor of Kentucky. He was a previous governor of Kentucky. This is who they're sending out there now, this Bashir guy, to be the attack dog, to make you think hillbilly elegy. This guy is nowhere near that. He even claimed that he made money setting up charities somehow or another when he's in Silicon Valley around opioids that ruined the people of Hill Country. This guy knows Kentucky. He knows Hill Country.
But what was weird was him joking about racism today and then talking about Diet Mountain Dew. Who drinks Diet Mountain Dew? But in all seriousness.
Yeah, you have your Chablis, buddy. You haven't had it. I wouldn't drink a Diet Mountain Dew either. I think that was wacky by
That's pretty gross, man.
Yeah, by J.D. Vance. I mean, Dr. Bentz is standing by when he gets off stage, so come on.
He is not from Kentucky. Listen, this is a guy who would come maybe in the summers for some period of time, or to weddings or funerals. And then he claims to be from Eastern Kentucky, tries to write a book about it to profit off our people, and then he calls us lazy. And this makes me angry, but it especially makes me angry about our people in Eastern Kentucky. Listen, these are the hardworking coal miners.
All right, we got it. Yeah.
Can I play a great diss that he had earlier, though?
Lincoln. I mean, the problem with J.D. Vance is he has no conviction.
Yeah.
But I guess his running mate has 34.
They all think that's funny. They're all sitting on that
terrible.
line.
Oh,
Just think about it. Larry Krasner, like prosecutor in Kamala Harris, and I'm prosecuting. I know people like Trump. I prosecuted them. Get Josh Shapiro, another prosecutor.
he has no conviction, but it's good that his running mate has 34.
What is it? This is all they have. They're not authentic themselves. She's certainly not. So what do they have to do? They have to rob from a guy a story that America embraced. Also, they don't like the American dream. The American dream with this punk governor is your daddy owns so much. He puts you in a huge law firm. You're making millions a year. Then he puts you in as governor, and you claim you know hill country. Live the life of J.D. Vance and overcome that. It is shocking that anybody can come through that and overcome it in the manner that he did. They don't like that. They don't want people to hear that. They want you to believe it's a government, it's something else. If they tell you, particularly if you're African American and you say something like that, you're not allowed to say your story of personal success. No, you did it. Not the government, not the roads, not Obama, and certainly a punk governor whose father pushed him forward. If J.D. Vance meets this guy in a debate, if he were the VP choice, he would tear this guy up. You know why? Because I believe, I've seen Allen Iverson, Dan, on a basketball court. We had a front row seat one time. I see him coming on a fast break. And as much as I played in South Philly leagues and all that stuff where it's rough, Allen Iverson's coming to the basket like, you're going to have to kill me. Well, J.D. Vance coming through what he did versus the life of this guy, Bashir, I think when you meet on the playing field like a debate, I know who I'm betting on. I'm betting on the person that had to come through a lot more than a guy who had a cushy path to the top and wants to lecture about hill country. 855-839-1210. A little bit later on, Dom's Money Melody, Chicago and Earth, Wind, and Fire tickets today. Big prizes all this week. I'm not sure if it's every day, but at least today it is.
Every day, Dom.
Every day this week.
Yeah,
at about
Chicago and Earth, Wind, and Fire, yeah.
About 2:13. You can't beat that. All right, your call's next. Talk Radio 1210.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Don't miss Borgata's $1.5 million
Summer Showdown. Now through August 31st, 1,500 winners will earn a share of $1.5 million. Plus, 2 lucky players will win a 2024 Ford Bronco or Jeep Rubicon. Earn entries for drawings held every Saturday, including 2 grand prize drawings on July 27th and August 31st. The $1.5 million Summer Showdown, only at Borgata Hotel, Casino, and Spa. Must be 21 or older. Players must be present to win. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You can still look great in that bathing suit this summer since it only takes 40 days to lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds with NJ Diet. That's nearly twice as fast as weight loss injections and without any of those nasty side effects. Within a week of starting, you will notice pounds coming off and you'll feel good too since you are doing it the natural way, quickly and safely. You can still get slimmer this summer and without any shots. Call 855-5NJ-DIET or go to njdiet.com to lose the weight for good.
Today, we're constantly taking photos and videos to remember our favorite moments. But what about those captured before the smartphone? What about the memories tucked away on aging VHS tapes, film reels, or in fading photos?
These cherished memories are fading away with time, vulnerable to threats like heat, moisture, and mold. But fear not, there's a solution to safeguard your legacy. Hi, I'm Adam.
And I'm Nick. Together we founded Legacy Box over a decade ago with one mission, to bring your memories into the 21st century.
It's time to bid farewell to old tapes you can't watch and faded photos. Legacy Box transforms them into digital treasures, ready to share with a click.
Just like magic, your shoebox of memories is now safely stored in the cloud or on a thumb drive.
Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box, so you can rest assured your priceless moments are in good hands.
Don't let your childhood fade away on old tapes. It's time to digitize those priceless moments.
Fast forward into the digital age. Visit legacybox.com/value and unlock 50% off your order. That's legacybox.com/value.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, it is Dom time. Welcome in, 855-839-1210. For once, I vaguely agree with Will Bunch, the Philadelphia Inquirer, that we usually he's a good guy, but our ideologies do not blend. Let's put it that way. But I agree somewhat, just like with AOC yesterday. Now, the main thing that we're trying to resolve here is the issue of, was there any intentionality here? Could they be this incompetent? And I've seen incompetency, and I'm not shocked that it could reach these levels, particularly seeing this head of the Secret Service. But that's still an open question. Will Bunch, writing at the Inquirer today, says one of the other things, too, is the crisis of the young American male, disaffected, isolated, too willing in too many cases to use violence to get some attention. Often you see this type of stuff, Lee Harvey Oswald as an example, of people that come to realize their mission to get attention is to engage in something like this. So that's a real thing. But I think the immediate problem is simply to get to the bottom. Even with Cheadle gone, this should go on even more intensely. I mean, I don't know why they haven't brought in the person who was in charge that day on the ground, and maybe 2 or 3 other people that they want all at once, have them testify at once together. Let's see if they conflict on their stories. Let's see if there's anything there that gives us a little bit more of a sense to follow up on. But these are some of the unanswered questions. Again, some of it is not surprising to me. I don't instantly jump toward masters of the universe here trying to kill Trump, because I see how incompetent these people are. Sean Parnell made a good point, though. When we talk about the deep state, it's not something necessarily just the most malevolent type of thing going on here. It's ideology at times. It's arrogance when they're in these positions and they're protected. And Congress has punted the ball to all the administrative state. This is an example of this is under the executive branch, while the president too. And there's not enough of telling them what they have to do. They're not elected representatives. They're supposed to follow the will of the people, which would be coming through our representatives, coming through Congress. And that's why they can come up with this 60-day thing in their head. We're not giving you a report for 60 days until you're forgetting about this and moving on to something else. That's what we're going to do. All right, 855-839-1210. You get on board. Apparently, too, you would think going into this hearing yesterday, the head of the Secret Service would have visited the site in order to have a better understanding for her own protection against these questions and for the American people. She didn't visit. Right there, just another tell of what's up with this. But I want to talk about this idea. Wherever you are from, proudly, wherever you're from, and you identify. With me, it's South Philly. Now, Dan's moved around a lot, but the place he talks about the most is Indiana. It's pretty obvious. But, well, that's when you talk about it, it's most, yeah. But here locally, South Philadelphia does have a lot of cachet. I mean, and I see in South Philly a lot of the reasons why it has that cachet, but I also see the downside and have called it out over the years. And that's all that J.D. Vance did with Hillbilly Elegy. But they're coming along now, just like Obama did. We actually had contests then when he said that. This was in the 2012, and Romney, as bad as he was, started to get some traction. People were just nuts. What are you talking about? Telling these people that are small business people, and I had people calling furious. I'm coming home from work now after X number. Let's see Obama. When has he ever met a payroll? And the answer is never. Elizabeth Warren, who is beyond a socialist, saying the same thing. The government will determine how much you keep. You keep a good chunk of it, but we gave you workers and roads. Imagine the roads. Well, this guy's doing the same thing with so-called Hillbilly Valor. This governor of Kentucky. They think they can send him out there. You would think, if you were smart, you would send somebody out there who actually has lived a life like J.D. Vance. In other words, not someone bored to the manor like this guy. And they might talk about the fact they don't see it the same way. The Inquirer had somebody the day after Vance was announced. They had her in the on-deck circle. We read you some of that article.
Ready to go.
Yeah, ready to go. All teed up, ready to go. They're not going to let you. They hate that. What is it they hate so much about that? Well, let's break it down in order, what they hate about that. They hate about it that it shows the American dream, that people can come through a bad circumstance like that and rise to the top. The Democrat Party hates it because largely, and we saw it play out with ousting Obama, the Democrat Party now are the elites. I use that in quotes. The more college-educated and the like on the coast. And they see that as the epitome. They don't see these places like Hillbilly Elegy as the epitome of anything. They're not going to let you have that cachet. You got to understand in politics, there are certain things. Biden, for years, has played, I'm going to let you get every abortion in the world that you want, but I am going to shove my rosary beads down your face. I'm not only a Catholic, I am a traditional Catholic. There we go. I am a devoted Catholic. All that language. You know, I'm the real thing. I'm a real Catholic. And you're not going to take that from me, and I'm still going to give all these abortions. People don't understand this, that branding. And if you can get the best of both worlds, well, they don't like it that J.D. Vance is very educated, very smart, very cerebral, but also he's got the story. They have to trash that. That's what they're trying to do here. This is all false. He doesn't know anything about Kentucky. A lot of Hillbilly Elegy traces back to Kentucky roots and how, because of how bad things were there and because of the jobs created in the auto industry, a lot of his people, he was spoke in Middletown, Ohio yesterday, moved there to make cars. But they brought the same kind of bonding and lifestyle They just weren't in eastern Kentucky now. This is insidious, and the media goes right along with it. They just don't want that to stick. Whereas the phony story of Kamala Harris and all the stuff that goes with it, well, that's fine. She ordered pizza, even though she was calling members of Congress the other night and gave them a meal, all the people that were there with her. That story's real. Obama's story's real. 855-839-1210. On the Trump side, they try to make it that Trump never really built up great businesses. He just got money from his father, and that was it. Well, he did lead that kind of life, but he parlayed that into things that were way beyond anything people can imagine. I mean, that's a fair point. But man, they're afraid of this guy because this is the American dream. They know the power of hillbilly elegy. Why was that so popular? What is it about that story that's so popular? And I think the thing in the end is to see somebody go through that and come out the other side and succeed gives people hope. It makes them believe it's the ultimate happy ending. Sadly, it doesn't happen often enough because anybody going through what he did would usually fail. I mean, 9 out of 10 maybe. How would you come through something like that and succeed? Very hard, very difficult. All right, let me go to 855-839-1210. So wherever you're from, that kind of identification, unless you're a progressive, unless you're on the other side, like AOC, essentially a large part of her experience was growing up in the suburbs. Now, I think she knows the Bronx and the South Bronx. She seems to have that, so I'm not going to try to take it away from her, but she's not exactly from there. And if she were a conservative, they would kill her on that. Anything to dislodge something that is essential. That's a point of attack.
It's funny that you say that because when you said, you're Indiana, I get offended because when I think about it, I think I'm kind of South Jersey is my background. But you're right. Like, if I was out in Indiana and I tried claiming I'm a South Jersey guy, it might be seen differently, kind of similar to this. And I think people get offended when you kind of come after what they believe to be their identity. And I think J.D. Vance, rightfully so, has a great ground to stand on with this whole Kentucky thing.
Well, particularly when the identity is, there's certain identity. Like I've said many times, particularly for this area, Dan, I would not choose. Nothing wrong with Northeast Philadelphia. But is that as much of an identity as South Philly, good or bad? It's got the juice. You just can't create anything like South Philly. Only in South Philly, that kind of thing. Yeah, it is. It's true. I'm from Center City, Philadelphia. Get out of here. There's nothing special about it, good or bad. Nothing flashy, I guess. But actually having the book and that experience and overcoming that, wow. That's one of the things that makes him stand out, why he was picked, without a doubt. Let me go to Joe in Columbus, New Jersey on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Joe, afternoon.
Hey, Tom, didn't JD talk more regionally in the form of Appalachia than Kentucky?
Well, he did.
Wrong?
Yeah, no, he did. He talked about the burial site there and things of that nature. Yeah, he's talking regionally, sure.
He didn't single out Kentucky. And if this guy was as phony as they're trying to portray him to be, they should have went after him when he's first running for office. It's just their tact is lame. It's just absolutely lame.
Well, if I were advising them, though, I would tell them that's exactly what you have to do for two reasons. One, I think that's the flavor of J.D. Vance, big time. And two, the media is going to help you, not just because they always help the progressive, but, Joe, they're going to help you because they don't like that story of success overcoming all those odds.
No,
they hate it.
Because there was very minimal governmental assistance involved in his success.
Well, then he's being attacked because, and some of the things I don't fully agree with him, he is populist, maybe with more government largesse in certain situations. Some of it I'm okay with, some of it I'm not. Even that, they attack him for doing what they want, which is weird.
Well, and now it's not weird when you look at their hypocrisy over the years.
Yeah.
So I agree. We're both on the same page. My guy is, he's deceased, but he was ageless for the longest time, Dick Clark.
That's a great one. Remember I told you that story? Dick Clark came in studio and he said, "You want me to do this next commercial?" I said, "Well, Dick, I can't impose on you." He goes, "Watch this, kid." And he started. I wish I had a tape of him doing the commercial. Yeah, he was ageless at that point, though. I don't know how old he was, Joe, but I would guess he looked like he was 40, you know?
We could never tell, Dom. We can never tell.
Exactly. All-time great Dick Clark. Thank you, Joe. 855-839-1210. That other host. I don't wish anybody be sick, Dan, but I wish he couldn't.
Oh, come on. He's so underrated, Dom.
Yeah, I know. I wish he couldn't quite recover enough. I wanted the Wilt interview. Wilt, beyond belief. See, you're one of those guys that wants to run down Wilt. You're trying to steal Wilt's identity of status that's gigantic.
Well, one, I don't know if he'd be as successful in today's
there
era of the
we go.
game. And
I'm sure Babe Ruth wouldn't be either,
there's
right?
not much historical record of a lot of the claims that the man made.
Oh, there.
I thought you were talking about Ryan Seacrest there, though, when you say the other host.
Oh,
and
God, yes.
You have a strong distaste for Ryan Seacrest.
I
and
do.
I think he should be respected. He's a very hard worker, Dom.
He is, and he does give a lot of credit to Dick Clark. He was very nice to him and publicly. A lot of credit, yeah.
Chamberlain fake news.
855-839-1210. Is J.D. Vance legit? Is he authentic? And Joe's right. He has not talked about just Eastern Kentucky. He did talk about being buried there. But that's where they came from, and they migrated. I mean, there have been great migrations. African Americans from the South coming to the big cities of the North. Why? Jobs, stuff like that. People from hillbilly country, call it what you will, Eastern Kentucky, going to places like Middletown, Ohio. Why? Auto plants. And that's where J.D. Vance spoke yesterday. They got to try to take that away, though. They know that story is riveting. And that's why Hillbilly Elegy was so successful. Phone lines are 855-839-1210.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Real Success. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at ourrealsuccess.com.
Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses and acquiring rental properties right here in Philadelphia? We're offering a handful of motivated individuals the opportunity to attend our workshop right here in Philadelphia for free. That's right, we'll give you 2 free tickets when you text INVEST to 64,000. Philadelphia is the perfect market to flip houses and build rental income. Discover the simple steps developed by Joe Arias, one of real estate's greatest rags to riches stories. You'll learn to flip properties and secure rental properties without using your own money and in your spare time. Don't miss this opportunity. Come to a complimentary live 2-hour workshop next week right here in Philadelphia and learn how to start making money flipping homes and building long-term wealth with rental properties. To get 2 free tickets, text INVEST to 64,000. Text in the next 10 minutes, and registrants will also receive a free copy of our Funding for Deals guide. Text INVEST to 64,000 for 2 complimentary tickets. Text INVEST to 64,000.
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-246-0553. 800-246-0553. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-246-0553.
If it's been a minute since you've considered an Infinity, now's the time to check out Infinity of Westchester, a member of the Bush Auto Group, where we have exceptional offers just for you. Enjoy rates as low as 4.9% for 36 months on Infinity certified pre-owned vehicles. Plus, every new Infinity comes with 3 years free maintenance. Don't wait. Visit in-store or online today at infinityofwestchester.com. Philly rides with us.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Dom Giordano, weekdays, noon till 3 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
And on the free Odyssey app.
All right, good Tuesday, everyone. It is Dom time. If you missed a big announcement at the top of the show, Don Trump Jr., given all the events going on, has had to reschedule our big event with him. It'll now be September 12th, just 2 days after the next debate. And I'm in a camp that thinks it's reasonable that this debate is going to happen. The big thing to do, the debate could be the point that punctures this balloon of suddenly Kamala Harris has gone from cringe to cool. That's the argument they're saying, using Biden as the backdrop. She's always been cringe because everybody knows how she's advanced to this point. And she's never been outside a state where all you have to do is win the Democrat nomination, the primary. Insider's game with Willie Brown, who was the most powerful Democrat in California for a number of years. And when they were dating, involved, he was 29 years her senior. Not that you can't do that, but, you know.
You think they'll bring out the cool aunt back on SNL again?
Oh, yeah. That and the meme, the coconut tree. You didn't fall out of the coconut tree.
Everything is in context. My mother she would give us a hard time sometimes, and she would say to us, I don't know what's wrong with you young people. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context
Bad job
of all
there.
in which you live and what came before you.
The mother's right, the coconut tree thing, and that's a good meme. That's working for her. But why is it to this point? And their argument's going to be, well, it's because she was VP, misogyny, racism, etc. And that's what's being tried against her. All right. Let me take a couple callers here. Let's go to Greg in Mantua, New Jersey. Hey, Greg, good afternoon.
Hey, Dom, I wanted to speak up about J.D. Vance and what he had to say. I wanted to defend him. I grew up in Kanawha County, West Virginia. It's about 70 miles northeast of the Kentucky line, eastern Kentucky. And what he said in his speech about the people, you know, with the overdoses and it really hit home, because I went home last fall to visit family. And I ran into an old friend of mine I hadn't seen in years, and we started talking about people I knew, or we knew back in the day when we were in school, and just about half of them had died of overdoses.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, what Vance is talking about, it's kind of a malaise there. There's a lot of people that never left, and they've done nothing with their lives, and it's a shame, really. I left actually in the 1980s and moved out to find work, and haven't lived back in West Virginia. I'm going to retire there, but I haven't been back there since then, except to visit family.
When you ask around in West Virginia, what do they say? Why haven't they left? What keeps them in West Virginia?
I do not know, Dan. I do not know. I guess it's being familiar and stuff like that. There's just not a lot of opportunities for people, and I guess a lot of people are comfortable with it.
Well,
But
Greg,
this isn't a bad
I
thing.
would answer this, though. Some of it, too, is there is a deep sense of place there, despite the limited opportunity. It's not one of these Sunbelt transient things. And I think you were brave to be able to move out of there. You had to find opportunity.
Tom, I got to tell you, I had so many people, friends that went to West Virginia University, and this song you hear behind us, Country Roads, and just there is, you say, a sense of place. There's such unity for West Virginians out there. It really ingrained in them, too.
Greg, where you are in Jersey now, we say all the time, why do people put up with Jersey? And I go back to all the time. There's a real sense of place there, the food, the culture, the shore, and all that. And those politicians sort of know that, so they brutalize people because people don't want to move out of Jersey.
Yeah, well, I ended up in New Jersey because I married a Jersey girl. And I'll never do
there
that.
you go, yeah.
And I'll never do that again.
Okay. So, you're right, though, but it's insidious, Greg. Imagine putting a guy up who's a multimillionaire son who got a law practice, then became governor, the father was a governor, to attack the credibility of a guy who suffered as a child like J.D. Vance did.
Well, when I was in my teenage years, we had Jay Rockefeller as our governor.
Ah, there you go.
He wasn't even from the state. But speaking of Dan's sense of place, West Virginia will always be home to me, even though I live in New Jersey.
Sure.
So I know exactly what he's talking about. It's just a beautiful, beautiful place.
Well, thank you, Greg.
The people are great.
Yeah, Greg, do you have somebody who aged gracefully?
How about that one Dom Giordano?
That's very nice of you to say. I'm going to go out and run 4 miles today, Greg. There's motivation. Thank you, Greg.
Great legs, though. Just remember.
Well, that's
what my
true.
wife says.
Got to tell a quick story about that, Dan. I lied a little bit this morning. Luke texted me. I played golf with Luke. We have a foursome and a couple of his friends, and
it was raining yesterday.
Well, there was quite a ceremony. That's when the rain came. They have and I kind of mock it. I don't know if they knew I was just kidding, but I'm not a big fan of fantasy football. And Luke,
don't hate what you don't play, Dom.
We're on a short par 3 with water in front of it. It had to hit 12 balls to determine, there's a name on each one. The one closest, he can't see the names, closest to the pin gets to pick first in fantasy football.
That's a fantastic idea.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Wow. So wait, did you get to hit any of them?
No.
Are you playing fantasy this year?
No,
oh,
not at all. Please.
You got to.
I tell them, well, as a professional, I could do the narration. They had narration, and they had a guy filming where the ball lands.
Calling Scott from Mount Laurel to be your color guy.
Yeah, Scott of Mount Laurel could have helped me. But after that hole, suddenly the skies open up, and we're at the furthest point on the course. I would say we walked about 9/10 of a mile back in a driving rainstorm. Oh my God.
Terrible.
Yeah, that.
So why
part
not
was
use a
difficult.
golf cart?
They wanted to walk yesterday.
But why?
I'm not sure.
Who wants to walk?
Well, it's cheaper.
Okay.
That's a good, a lot cheaper. It's ridiculous, some of the fees to do that.
What's your handicap?
And my handicap?
Yeah.
I don't have an official one. I'll just show up and play, and we'll have to go from there.
Well, better or worse than Trump?
Oh, Trump's better.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. It would be frightening to have to play with Trump because if you're not good, oh, man, you're not getting out of there alive.
Yeah.
The stuff he might say.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
He still supposedly told me he'd play at the Trump Club over in South Jersey. I have that written down. He said it on the air. I have the tape.
You really think he's like a 5, though?
No, but he could be in that range.
Yeah.
And Joe Biden wouldn't break 150. If we got Joe up today to play golf, I don't know if he'd break 200.
I love that. Yeah, let's play, but you got to carry your own clubs.
All right. Long time, great friend, and we've served together here at Talk Radio 1210 when he's the host here, the pride of Northeast Philadelphia. Now, Dan, speaking of golf, he broadcasts from and lives on a golf course.
Oh.
Broadcasts from home. I don't know if it's the 18th hole or what.
Seems like a dream.
Yeah, we should be working on that. We could do some chip shot practice during the breaks.
Yeah.
Why not? Greg would allow that. That's okay, sure. Jeff Katz, he's coming up with us. He is one of the architects, Dan, of Politics and Pints, an idea that we co-opted purloined from him. That was an O. Henry story. The purloined word. And J.D. Vance is coming to Virginia. Is Virginia still in play with Kamala Harris now as the probable nominee? We'll find out. Jeff Katz with us next. And your call. I love that call from Greg in Mantua, though. The idea that don't let them steal that sense of place. I'm going to ask Jeff Katz, Dan. He grew up, I forget what he calls it, Castor Avenue, you know, and he makes it like there was gold in the streets there in Northeast Philadelphia, where he's from. South Philly, there was silver in the streets. Maybe. 855-839-1210.
Tom Herr, and this is Susan Herr, Norvon, Pennsylvania.
Being with Crash Proof is like being in a big family. We know there's a lot of other people out there just like us, and everyone's very happy.
Yeah, they're not sad.
They're not sad. I mean, we come in and we know our money's safe and it's continuing to grow.
The Crash Proof system is fighting inflation for us. When prices do go up, we still have income coming in. And with the Crash Proof system, we made just under 7%. Even though we're using money, we're still making more money. And at the end, we have more money than we started with.
We have those resources to make our life and retirement much more comfortable.
And we can sleep at night.
Yes, definitely.
Only Crash-Proof Retirement can guarantee peace of mind in a legally binding, recorded financial meeting. Schedule an appointment to begin your Crash-Proof Retirement education. Call us at 1-800-722-9728 or visit crashproofretirement.com.
Today, we're constantly taking photos and videos to remember our favorite moments. But what about those captured before the smartphone? What about the memories tucked away on aging VHS tapes, film reels, or in fading photos?
These cherished memories are fading away with time, vulnerable to threats like heat, moisture, and mold. But fear not, there's a solution to safeguard your legacy. Hi, I'm Adam.
And I'm Nick. Together we founded Legacy Box over a decade ago with one mission, to bring your memories into the 21st century.
It's time to bid farewell to old tapes you can't watch and faded photos. Legacy Box transforms them into digital treasures, ready to share with a click.
Just like magic, your shoebox of memories is now safely stored in the cloud or on a thumb drive.
Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box, so you can rest assured your priceless moments are in good hands.
Don't let your childhood fade away on old tapes. It's time to digitize those priceless moments.
Fast forward into the digital age. Visit legacybox.com/value and unlock 50% off your order. That's legacybox.com/value.
Don't count on summer heat to melt away those extra pounds. That doesn't work. But here's something that does work, and that's NJ Diet. For over a decade, NJ Diet has helped thousands of people lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days. That's nearly twice as fast as weight loss injections and without any of those nasty side effects. NJ Diet uses your hair, saliva, and blood work, along with scans to personalize natural solutions and supplements to get you to shed that fat quickly. Then NJ Diet uses your DNA info to help you keep the weight off. No shots, no prepackaged meals, and no surgery. NJ Diet is fully supervised every step of the way to make sure you are burning fat and not just losing water. You even get the doctor's personal email and phone number. Locations close by are available from anywhere with live online video consultations. Call 855-5NJ-DIET or schedule your consult today at njdiet.com. That's njdiet.com. Lose the weight for good.
There's nothing quite like local. Local is your weekly farmer's market or homemade strawberry ice cream. It's live music on the corner, yoga in the park, and a chance to try something new. That's why AARP is local, right here in our community, offering free events and enriching experiences that can help with finances, family, and fun. Join AARP Philadelphia on July 25th for a virtual tour of the Renoir and Women exhibit at the Barnes Foundation. Learn more at aarp.org/local.
Weather sponsored by the Piazza Auto Group.
A humid air mass remains in place across the Delaware Valley. It'll be partly sunny and very warm with a high around 89. Tonight, warm and muggy with a shower possible, low 74. And for Wednesday, mostly cloudy, some showers and a possible thunderstorm with a high 85.
During the Volkswagen Savvy Summer Sales Event, get 0.9% financing for 60 months or a $3,500 customer bonus on new 2024 Atlas models. Visit Piazza Volkswagen of Ardmore and Langhorne or visit piazzavw.com for details.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
All I need is someone. Just where I'm going, yeah.
All right, Dom Giordano Show. Jeff Katz, no stranger to Philadelphia, Northeast Philly particularly. Jeff Katz Show, live weekdays, 3 to 6 p.m. on News Radio WRVA 96.1 FM in Richmond, Virginia, where I think they came up with the idea of politics and pints. Now, Dan, I had to get him on because I don't think we've imbibed enough at ours. It was only casual.
Oh, that's the fault of your own, though.
Yeah, well, it's
I had a
not
couple
mine. I mean, I
had
can't
plenty.
I try, but I mean, can I steer Don Trump Jr. over to the bar
What does he
after the
drink,
event?
Trump Jr. Vodka?
Probably vodka. Yeah, I would have to look that
Not
up.
Kentucky bourbon like Rand Paul.
No, not Rand Paul. Oh, that awful
I'm feeling
stuff.
nice during that introduction.
I'm
after
still
a couple of
getting
drinks.
over that paint thinner. Let's go to Jeff
Paint thinner?
Katz.
That was delicious.
So, Jeff, welcome back to town. And when you do politics and pints, how much drinking goes on there?
Well, there's a massive amount, Dom. Actually, it's we start pre-gaming about a week before, to carefully analyze the X's and the O's of the election or the issues. So they drag us out on stage and they poke us and we talk and then we're done, and it's great.
Well, I remember doing a debate this after you left here, Jeff, that we had on stage, and people was at Xfinity Live. I remember martini glasses and wine glasses on the lectern in front of us as the debate was going on with 5 hosts. It was a bit unusual. It was a pretty good debate. So you guys, you're going to be having on your show at some point soon, J.D. Vance. I think he's going to be in town tomorrow. Indicative that Virginia is still in play. How would Vance come to Virginia and have any kind of connection?
Well, J.D. Vance is scheduled to be with us. I don't have the exact details, next day or two. Virginia is very much in play, Dom, and it was even more in play, obviously, when Joe Biden was at the top of the ticket. Donald Trump actually up by 5 points in Virginia. Kamala Harris changes it a little bit, but what J.D. Vance brings to Virginia is his background from Middletown, Ohio, and growing up in Appalachia, because there are plenty of parts of Virginia. We call it Southwest Virginia. Some people call it the South Side of Virginia. But that's coal and steel, manufacturing, all that sort of stuff that resonates with J.D. Vance. And I think he's going to play very, very well. Very well.
Imagine, Jeff, if you're going to try to counter that and take him out and chip away at that, I don't think you use the governor of Kentucky, who is the son of multi-millionaire, former governor, who gave him everything in life, and then you attack Vance by saying Vance doesn't know what he's talking about and he just attacks hillbillies.
Well, I'm assuming that Governor Beshear didn't actually read Hillbilly Elegy. Maybe he made it through the Netflix series. J.D. Vance talks passionately about that, as you know, Dom. I mean, look, you're informed on all of this. J.D. Vance is a passionate talker. I heard you mention earlier about always remembering the place, where you're from and how it translates into where you are today. J.D. Vance does that very, very well. And just knowing the people as I do in the Commonwealth of Virginia, and granted, it's a large state. We've got 8 million people here, but our signal reaches the bulk of Central Virginia. It reaches up to D.C. We've got listeners in a variety of locales. And they're excited about Donald Trump. They're excited about J.D. Vance. And they're also savvy enough to know that this has been, the last 4 years, the Biden-Harris administration. They're not thinking, oh, my gosh, Kamala Harris wasn't aware of what was going on. So I think people are ready to hear that message. And President Trump will also be visiting and campaigning in Virginia. And President Trump, he's not going to waste his time if it's not really in play. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there any, who do you see as where you are in Virginia to take it out of play? Is there any one of these VP choices that would play well in Virginia for Harris?
It's a good question. I don't know that anybody moves the needle all that much. There had been some talk, actually, that Mark Warner, who's one of the senators here in Virginia, would would be the choice. I don't see that moving the needle all that much. Virginia is one of those areas. There's a beltway, if you will, around D.C. Those people are the swampiest of the swamp dwellers, so they always vote for the Democrats. There's never any question. Generally speaking, their votes, like in Fairfax and Prince William, they come in late, Dom. They have to hear how many votes are needed for the Democrats to win, and then they shockingly find exactly that amount on their machines or ballot boxes. But
yeah, exactly.
They're always going to vote Democrat. But it is the rest of the state that's really in play. And you've seen Kamala Harris up close and personal. She's a lot of things, but energizing and inspiring, she ain't.
Exactly. Now, I was a big Youngkin guy from afar. I know he seems a bit low-key, but he did win Virginia. Yeah. He did drill down on parental rights, which I think Republicans don't talk about enough, with really good examples. And in the end, he didn't seem to be that close, Jeff. So what would Youngkin have done for them?
Well, I think Youngkin would have guaranteed Virginia. No question in my mind about that. Would he have helped elsewhere? Yeah, I think Glenn Youngkin would have helped with people like My Lovely Bride. You know, we're in this mixed marriage sometimes where Tom, she just does not like Donald Trump based on old tweets or mean things that he said, or oh my gosh, you know, he's just such like an alpha male. And I'm thinking, you're married to me, right? Now, you don't put me in the beta category, you know. I'd like to think I have some of that. And, but she would have voted for Trump if Youngkin were the VP pick in a second. And so now the mission, I think, for people like Heidi is to say, hey, you have kids. And, you know, in our case, we've got the two boys who are going to be making their way. One's out in the world and one's in school. So to say to her, look, you want them to have an opportunity? They have zero opportunities if Kamala Harris becomes president. And if Donald Trump becomes president, they've got a chance to go make their way in the world.
Now, back to what we've had a lot of people calling in about this, Jeff, trying to steal from J.D. Vance, that hill country, that childhood that he overcame. That's always what they do. When you were on Talk Radio 1210, I always talk about South Philly. I mean, it's the best thing I could come up with. But you made the Northeast not this homogenous type of thing. You zoned in on the streets of gold there when you grew up. Where was that?
Well, listen, Dom, I am from Oxford Circle, my friend.
Oxford Circle.
Yeah, we never heard the phrase Castor Gardens. Good Lord, what kind of nonsense is that? No, Oxford Circle, Copman Avenue, Bustleton Avenue, Castor Avenue, those were streets paved with gold. Anywhere you went, there was another gold brick on the streets of Oxford Circle.
So in Virginia, do you use Philadelphia? Do you use that experience, Jeff, and what you're doing in Virginia?
Every day of my life. Every day of my life. Look, Dom, I get up every morning, and I know you're having some fun, but if you ever do come south, you can play golf here at the beautiful Hanover Golf Club, and we are on the 18th green, believe it or not.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So, but I got to tell you, Dom, I get up every single morning and I look out my window and I've got trees and I've got grass and I've got flowers. And I think, you know what? I grew up in a row house in the middle of the block, and the view out of my window was the alley and the trash cans. So, you know what? I'm reminded every single day of where I'm from, where I am, what I want my kids to be able to do. So, yeah, I hold on to that. I talk about it all the time. All the time. And I think, J.D. Vance, absolutely entitled, if you will. It's a crazy word, but he's entitled to his life story. He's absolutely entitled to talk about where he's from and frankly, what he's done. He's a man of great accomplishments.
Without a doubt. Where do we find Jeff Katz? Where do people find you on social media, Jeff?
Well, the easiest way, you can go to thejeffkatzshow.com, Jeff Katz Show over on X, and the Jeff Katz Show on Facebook.
Now, what's your golf handicap, though? Do you ever play?
My handicap is that I live on a golf course, and I don't actually play, but I got all sorts of balls that I find in my yard, so you don't have to buy any when you come down.
Dan, go ahead.
No, he lives on a golf course, but he doesn't play golf?
No, I knew that, but...
Like, isn't it included in your HOA fees to like be part of the golf course, or?
Well, no, we were part of the social membership there, Dan, which means we are allowed to go over to the clubhouse, have a bevy and
the Sunday all-you-can-eat
sandwich.
crab, yeah.
Absolutely. Hey, Jeff, great catching up with you again. Thanks for having me on yesterday. And I actually was in a sand trap when I was talking to you.
Well, listen, I always appreciate chatting with you, man. There's a reason that you are the dean of Philadelphia Talk Radio. Don't let anybody forget that. You're the guy. You're the gold standard, brother.
Thank you, Jeff. Thanks so much.
Thank you, my friend.
Jeff Katz here on Talk Radio 1210. So, Dan, I used to follow him and was before him at one point when he was on here. He's a great talk host, very generous, and the Oxford Circle stuff, the streets paved with gold. You know, they can't be allowed with J.D. Vance or you to take from you what is precious. Obama, you didn't build that. I mean, Elizabeth Warren. Yeah, we built the roads, the educated stuff, and now this governor who's look, if you can live a life where your dad set you up and all that, that's great, that's fine. But you can't talk down to a guy who got through what he did with a culture that had a lot of difficulties, and his mother primarily, and say that somehow or another he doesn't have any credibility on this. They just can't stop it. That's why this has to be just an all-out take-the-gloves-off battle on this. Phone lines are 855-839-1210.
Can I make an analogy that I think you'd like?
Yes.
When I moved to Indiana, I was still an Eagles fan in Colts country.
Right.
And a lot of people are like, well, you live in Indiana now. Even though I got to go to a lot of the Colts games, I still, I still had an identity that bled green with the Eagles. A lot of people said I shouldn't have that identity because, now I lived in Indiana, no longer Philadelphia. But no, I couldn't let it go. I just couldn't let it go. And I feel there's a lot of that in the sports world of when you move, you still want to hold on to the identity that you once had, that nostalgia that you have for the sports teams of that past place that you lived. And I think that plays into it as well. An analogy of the identity that you don't want to be removed of because you move.
Yeah. And the arbiter of this, there are arbiters, but I don't think a guy who was to the manner born, Governor Beshear. I'd love to have Governor Beshear on the show, Dan. I'm talking about a bare knuckles, all-out research, and then I'm ready. Let's see. So your father was worth $10 million, and you're telling J.D. Vance what? You don't get to do it. You can't do it. Somebody who was a peer of J.D. Vance might say, I think J.D.'s gone a little bit far with this, but of course, he went through this. It's part of his DNA, and he overcame the bad parts of it. 855-839-1210. Jump on board. Your call's next on Talk Radio 1210.
Talk Radio 1210's Huge Politics and Pints with Donald Trump Jr. is moving to Thursday, September 12th. Join Dom Giordano as he talks to Donald Trump Jr. about all things Trump on the day after the planned presidential debate. The new date, Thursday, September 12th at Scottish Rite Auditorium in Collingswood. Your tickets include a copy of Letters to Trump by former President Trump. A cash bar will be available. Get your tickets now at 1210WPHT.com. That's 1210WPHT.com.
Hi, it's Rich Zioli. I'm joined here today by my friend, the co-president and CEO of Cooper University Healthcare, the one and only Dr. Anthony Mazzarelli. Dr. Maz and I are here to tell you about our buddy, Dr. Mike Veneria. Not only is he my dentist, he's my family's dentist as well. And not sure if you knew this, he's Dr. Maz's dentist too.
That's right, Rich. Dr. Mike Veneria is and has been my dentist also. And doctors choosing doctors, that can be quite a selective process. And not only do I go to him, but for years, my sister and my niece and my nephew, the whole family goes.
Well, it's no secret. We're all delighted by the care that Dr. Mike Veneria and his award-winning team provide, and you need to check him out.
Whether you're looking for pediatric, general, cosmetic, implant dentistry, you don't need to look any further. Dr. Veneria's office does everything. Dr. Veneria's office also exceeds all CDC guidelines and has always maintained the strictest infection control, like their centralized UV sterilization of airflow, which is incredibly important to me.
Locations are right over the bridge in Cinnaminson and Woodbury. Your perfect smile's waiting. Call 856-786-2020 or visit veneriadental.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-353-9057. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-353-9057. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-353-9057. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-353-9057. 800-353-9057 or biglou.com.
This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Do you know when the best time to buy investment properties is? It's now. It's always now. You just need to learn how to buy them correctly. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night and learn how to buy investment properties and make money every time. That's right. That's what we teach. We teach how to buy investment properties and make money every time. Go to investorschooling.com and RSVP right now. Take a class this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Don't go through life ignorant about how to become a millionaire. Learn how to invest in real estate, the stock market, precious metals, and learn from an expert. At Investor Schooling, we teach these things and more. We only provide education, and we will teach you how to leverage real estate, how to leverage the stock market, and how to leverage precious metals to make more money than you've ever made before. Go to investorschooling.com and take a complimentary class this Thursday. We will see you there, investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey pet parents, the summer season is here, and that means it's time to get outside and enjoy some sunshine with your pet. Hi, I'm George Parenti, the lead dog at the Dogs and Cats Rules stores. The stores are loaded with great summer collections of outdoor and interactive toys. We carry the finest selection of fresh diets, like gently cooked, raw, freeze-dried, air-dried, dehydrated, baked, and of course traditional kibble and cans. Dogs and Cats Rule with 7 neighborhood locations. Visit dogsandcatsrule.pet. That's Dogs and Cats Rule. Shop small, shop local, shop family.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com. Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
Free speech lives here with Don Stenslin weekdays 10 till noon. Talk Radio 1210. WPHT. WPHT.
They're running a strange program, y'all.
It's Dan time.
I can handle things. I'm smart. Not like everybody says.
That's right, set time. I usually take over Dan for the Dom time, for Dan time with Dom, but Dom, I'm going to send it back to you. Just a reminder, 2:15 today, Chicago tickets with Earth, Wind, and Fire. Stay tuned.
Yep. Let's hope it's not in a foreign language. I can't clarify that.
It won't be. It will not be.
Lara Trump will be here at 1 o'clock tomorrow. A lot to catch up with her on. Let's go to Joe of Exton. The side question today, Gorgeous Grandmom's Day nationally. Someone who's aged well, male or female. We're going to have to decipher Joe's here, though. Joe in Exton. Hey, Joe. Good afternoon.
Yes. Hello, Tom. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My person who has aged gracefully is Newt Gingrich.
Huh?
Whenever Gingrich is called upon to analyze a political matter, Gingrich's reasoning is always clear, logical, and distinct, unique. I'm very concerned about not appearing to be zany.
But Joe, is that aging gracefully? Huh? You're thinking mentally, you mean?
Yes. His mental assets are always in good order.
Got some great mental assets.
All right, thank you, Joe. We were thinking
I like
more,
that angle.
But that's an angle.
Especially
we'll
when
accept
we have a
it.
president like Biden up there.
Yeah,
who
exactly.
didn't
I mean,
age gracefully.
Newt
for sure.
Gingrich is a genius, but he's off in some way. He's off-putting in some ways to some people. I think
I'm
Dan,
very concerned about not appearing to be zany.
I think I may have interviewed Newt Gingrich closing in on 100 times over the years.
Really?
You almost have to if you're in talk radio. I bet if I asked Jeff Katz, I've interviewed him
unavoidable.
200. Hannity probably interviewed him 1,000. Literally 1,000 times. I sat with him for 3 hours at the Free Library interviewing him because nobody was showing up yet to his event that night. He just sat there talking about zoos and is there life on Mars and stuff like this. He's genius level, but.
So you are a fan of his?
Yes.
You're just confused as to why he's aged gracefully.
He is zany, though, too. Yes. But, Joe, Newt Gingrich, when we think of people aging well, I say Dolly Parton. Joe of Exton says Newt Gingrich. So on brand for Joe.
I do like the box he just opened, though, so let's extend it to mentally
we'll
aged
fill up that
gracefully,
box. All right, coming to your calls coming up. And at about 2:13, Dan's Money Melody today. Let's make it a good one. We have Chicago / Earth, Wind, and Fire tickets that are involved in this. Don't forget, get your tickets now. There's increasing demand. Don Trump Jr. rescheduled to September 12th, just 2 days after the big debate, the next debate, here on Talk Radio 1210.
How did your son or daughter do in school this year? These summer months is the time to make the call to Kathy Ganna and New Hope Academy in Yardley and Doylestown at 800-300-0003. Prepare your student for back to school now. Let New Hope Academy transform your child's life forever by helping them now. For over 3 decades, New Hope Academy founder Kathy Ganna, a pioneering educator and entrepreneur who created the NHA model, has been utilizing state-of-the-art solutions to uncover ways where your child could avoid struggling and succeed. At New Hope Academy, there's a student-teacher ratio of 2-to-1, allowing for students to deal with many disorders like high anxiety, social and emotional, and including bipolar. Do not wait. Help your students start strong. Remember, only the best teachers can work at NHA. Call for a no-obligation tour and consultation. 90% of NHA graduates pursue a college education. Call Kathy today at 800-300-0003. Online, newhopeacademy.net. Call New Hope Academy today.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
A man who was hurt in Sunday's mass shooting in West Philly is now charged for the murders from the incident. Kamala Harris has enough pledged delegates to become the Democratic nominee for president, and a congresswoman is filing impeachment articles against the Secret Service director in wake of the Trump shooting.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio, now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Tired of hearing scary ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. We may be able to significantly reduce and even eliminate what you owe to the IRS. Taxpayers should know. Huge savings are now being made available through the Fresh Start program that can drastically reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. Even if you haven't filed your taxes in years or are facing wage garnishment, liens, levies, or under audit, we can help. We've earned over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today. To see what savings you may qualify for, visit us online at TRA.com or call us at 800-511-0379. 800-511-0379. Again, that's 800-511-0379. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
No one is happy to discover that the air conditioner is broken, and it always breaks on the hottest day of the summer in the middle of the night. That's why so many homeowners have Oliver's Peace of Mind membership. For as little as $13 a month, Oliver maintains your home's cooling, heating, plumbing, and electrical systems all year long. Membership also includes annual inspections, exclusive discounts on repairs and replacements, and priority emergency service. Call Oliver today or visit us online at oliverheatcool.com.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, it is Dom time. Welcome in 855-839-1210. A lot of action on the side question today. If you're just joining us, we had Jeff Katz on, and this attack last night by this Governor Bashir, who was allegedly a VP possibility, but didn't even get the paperwork to fill out, so he apparently is not, sent in on CNN to attack J.D. Vance at the most. I mean, there are a lot of smart people out there, a lot of people that graduated Yale Law School. And if you're a Republican, it's probably not a plus with people. A lot of people that went to Silicon Valley and made money, maybe somewhat of a plus if you were some kind of candidate. But what is it that usually in the past, when you take a look at presidents, what was the distinguishing thing with a ton of them? Military service, or the people early on who put their lives on the line, the founding fathers, be it Adams and Jefferson and people like that, who could have been killed by the British if it had resulted in loss. After that, do you think of Andrew Jackson? Even, relatively nothing, Zachary Taylor, people like this, they were military commanders. And Jackson was particularly sterling in that. Eisenhower, we've gotten past that. So what is it that Democrats are often going for? Well, in President Obama, historic. They're trying it again with Kamala Harris, even though she has none of the skills of Obama. That doesn't matter. Identity is there. Listen to Van Jones, Dan. Make it racial. Here is Van Jones, cut 5.
This is going to work out badly because they worked very hard to attract black men into the Republican Party. They worked very hard to attract Latin men into the Republican Party. And they were getting a little bit of momentum there. There are a lot of black men who are saying, no, Democrats don't do anything for us, and Biden's weak, and they're starting to look over there at the Republican Party. You start insulting black women, you're going to see something you haven't seen before. Black men are not going to put up with that. I want to send a warning, as clear as I can. I was on a phone call with 20,000 black men. The word protect came up about 1,000 times. Protect this sister. Protect this sister. We're going to protect her. Protect her. You're about to see something you haven't seen before. Look, people messed around with Hillary Clinton and said a bunch of mean stuff to her. Black men set that out. We won't set this out.
All right, so we'll see. Her connection to African-American community and the like, maybe with women in certain liberal circles, yeah, but men overall, we haven't seen any of that with Kamala Harris. She hasn't made that connection. But this is the warning here. And I take Van Jones at it this way, that Republicans, what's an insult? Is an insult pointing out how Kamala Harris got to where she is with no real accomplishments. It's just taking care in the way they go about this, in the way that they phrase it, in the way that they develop the case against her. Now, here's what J.D. Vance said yesterday, and I'm sure Van Jones would say this is an insult. I think this is more not just, and one thing you can do, too, is wrap Kamala Harris into the mode of progressive Democrats. It's not just her. She just happens to exhibit it and be the number one person they're putting forward. Here is Vance talking about Harris and the inability to show gratitude.
And she talks about the history of this country, not with appreciation, but with condemnation. And look, of course, every country, just like every family, certainly mine, has its pockmarks, right? Not everything's perfect. It's never going to be. But you, if you want to lead this country, you should feel grateful for it. You should feel a sense of gratitude. And I never hear that gratitude come through when I listen to Kamala Harris.
Yeah, so absolutely there, making the point that you better watch out. Is this a racial attack? Well, they're going to say most things are. I'm just saying you have to be as careful as you can, but also prosecute the case against her. It's doable. The borders are stuff is absolutely doable. I like the gratitude thing because that was a shot at all progressive Democrats. So here's a little bit more of this Governor Beshear, whose father was the governor of the state, I believe. And the argument J.D. Vance and others have made went under attack here is that this guy was dumped into a big law firm from his father right out of the box, has never really struggled with anything.
He fled the state as soon as he could. He went to Vanderbilt in Tennessee.
Yeah,
and he went to
right.
UVA afterwards.
Yeah, and this is the best they're going to come up with. They're crazed. Anytime you have somebody with a background, and what's the proof that J.D. Vance's background is compelling? Well, Hillbilly Elegy. Now, the film had low production values. We admitted it when we saw it. At least I thought it did. It didn't look like the same kind of thing on screen you see with a normal. It was made for TV kind of film, even though Glenn Close, Amy Adams were great. It was that kind of thing, but it registered with people. Why? Because people want to see the success story overcoming all those odds. And those odds, when watching that film and watching Amy Adams' character, his mother, you just get tired. At least I did. Like, how many times are we going to have to get her into treatment, bail her out of this, that, or the other? And I think J.D. Vance didn't pull any punches, though. He talked about some of the roots of this in the culture there. He wasn't slamming his own people, but he was not moving away from the idea that there were problems here. So they send this guy out last night on CNN to say he can't talk about Eastern Kentucky. Here's a little bit of what the governor said.
Comments from Senator Vance.
But what was weird was him joking about racism today and then talking about Diet Mountain Dew. Who drinks Diet Mountain Dew? But in all seriousness, he ain't from here. He is not from Kentucky. Listen, this is a guy who would come maybe in the summers for some period of time or to weddings or funerals. And then he claims to be from Eastern Kentucky, tries to write a book about it to profit off our people. And then he calls us lazy. And this makes me angry, but it especially makes me angry about our people in Eastern Kentucky. Listen, these are the hardworking coal miners that powered the Industrial Revolution, that helped build the strongest middle class the world has ever seen, helped us win 2 world wars, and he called them lazy, acting like he understands our culture and he's one of us. He's not. This is a guy who went out to Silicon Valley that's trying to be an everyman. He ain't one of us.
All right. So he didn't delineate just Eastern Kentucky. He talked about the Great Migration, just like African Americans previous to that had migrated from the South, maybe the 50s into the 60s, this later on, because that's where the opportunity was. Ford Motor Plants, Middletown, Ohio, that's where he spoke yesterday. Why do they have to go? And this is the best they can do because they're crazed on this. It's a tactic. You got to take away the go-to, the thing that makes this person stand out. And with Vance, it's obvious. Second reason, they know the media is going to help them in this. They don't want these feel-good stories, these success stories. Nothing gets people more inspired than talking about, particularly small business people, the root of talk radio, to talk about, I built that, I employed people, the thrill of doing that. I've only done it part-time with camps and things like that I have, but when you give someone a job over the years of various things, and people that do it every day, they have pride in that. And they know they're succeeding often against the government and all these regulations and nonsense from a bunch of pointy heads who never really had a job in their life of any sort or created anything. Obama was a community organizer. Kamala Harris was on the glide path here through all kinds of associations that we've talked about. Someone like Trump, even though with all the millionaire background and all that, because of the building trades, has that touch that he can interact, where Mitt Romney could not. They got to take that away, and that's what this guy's trying to do. And I think J.D. Vance would tear him up on this, because they know that becomes the shorthand for people, and they identify with this. They like it a lot if it's authentic and you portray it properly, warts and all, as he just said, J.D. Vance in that clip. What are they going to match that with? Democrats get to tell their story, and the media just buys into it. Oh, yeah, that's absolutely the case. They don't take a look at the advantages many of these people have. They don't see, just case in point, Joe Biden talking about his wife and the car crash. They got to make the guy a drunk driver, which he wasn't. Biden does it all the time. The trucker who smashed into the wife in a car accident. Constantly. Look at Hunter Biden, the face of privilege. How is it they get to tell that story, wrap yourself in it, which politically is one of the smartest things you could do? All right, 855-839-1210. Coming up, Dom's Money Melody. Don't forget, in mere moments. Be ready for that. Chicago tickets, Earth, Wind, and Fire. We'll have that ready to go for you. Side question, though. Hit us with somebody who has aged well. Let's go to Earl of Tacony, Talk Radio 1210. All right, Earl, who do you have today?
First off, real quick, I didn't mention it yesterday. I was impressed that Scott Pressler actually said Wilkes-Barre correctly. A lot of people say that incorrectly. And I went to college in actually Dallas, outside of Wilkes-Barre. But, a lot of people call it bar, and but it's pronounced bear, and then there's a little at the end. So that's the proper way to say it.
Well, he's got that accent that's vaguely like
South Dakota, it feels like.
You think South Dakota? Yeah. I kind of think a hill country of a sort there. Certain words, he mashes them the way he does it. It's authentic, yeah, without a doubt.
And I guess I'll hold off on my theory concerning the assassination. But my person of interest is, and I sent you an email, there's a meme going around on the internet that says that if you could go back to 1990 and tell people that in the year 2024, Roseanne Barr will look better than Madonna. So my answer is Roseanne Barr.
That is great, tying the meme into it. I only know one person, Dan, former talk show host, long ago at WWDB, who happened to be in a hotel and saw Madonna in the morning getting a paper or whatever. Not good.
Really?
And ask Matt DeSantis seeing Katy Perry performing, just, practicing.
Where's
not good.
Matt DeSantis ran in with Katy Perry?
Well, it was at the Wells Fargo Center. It was for the convention, and she was not made up or whatever. It's sometimes shocking to people. She was practicing. She was going to perform that night.
Yeah. Sound check.
This is a good one. I had her at Andy's Diner up on the Boulevard of all places. Greta in Gloucester. Greta, who's yours?
Jane Seymour. She's 73, and she's given birth to 4 kids, including twins. I think she looks terrific. I might buy some of that crepey grease.
Creepy skin. All right. Dan, at Andy's Diner on a snowy December 13th, 100 people, including a guy having her sign hockey sticks and all. And when she said she chose to be a citizen, she wasn't born here, but she chose it. It was magic right there on the boulevard. That was one of the all-timers.
It's so random to have Jane Seymour. Like, what was the reason that she came out?
She was in town, and, I'm pesky. She was in town for another radio station doing some of their hunger drive. They fill up. They do good work with it. And I happened to be on their list, and I just started saying, wow, while you're in town doing that,
wow,
swing on over. I told them a map, the boulevard. You can fly right down there.
You guys talking about, like, Bond Girl? And
They did, and she stayed an hour.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, it was
like Dr. Quinn you guys talked about?
Yeah. Well, I had Lou Ferrigno at Andy's Diner, too, having people do push-ups. Another.
With Hulk. That's great.
Robert and Ben Salem on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Robert, afternoon.
Hey, it's good to talk to you, Dom, Dan. I hope you guys are having a good day. I'm thinking about maybe changing my answer, but I don't want to do that. I sent you an email about it, but I'll stick with my answer and keep it simple. I'm going to go with Fussy Britches. That would be Raquel Welch.
Yeah, I haven't seen her recently, but in Seinfeld and even beyond that, she looked remarkable.
She's dead.
When you consider that she was like a symbol back in the 60s and 70s, and she's held up that long, that's really impressive, man. I thought she looked really good on Seinfeld, and I thought she played a funny part.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
you guys have yourself a great day, all right?
Thank you. And she passed. Yeah, that was fairly recently.
Yeah, heart
okay.
attack.
It is time right now. Chicago tickets, Earth, Wind, and Fire tickets for...
It's Dom's Money Melody.
All right, we're playing today for a pair of tickets to see Chicago with Earth, Wind, and Fire on July 31st, 2024 at Freedom Mortgage Pavilion in Camden, New Jersey. For tickets, visit Ticketmaster.com. Dan?
Dom, we don't talk about it enough, but you have your Tom Jones. I have this guy that I have a really soft spot in my heart for, his really corny music, but we're talking about people who age gracefully today, and this guy's voice still holds up, and he's in his 80s, performing out there in Vegas occasionally. Dom, we want to know who it is today covering this Chicago song. That's all I want to give from clue-wise. But, Dom, it's a cover artist today in the realm of same kind of genre as the artist aforementioned. But who is it today, Dom, covering this song, who aged gracefully, particularly in the vocals department? Looks-wise, maybe got a little help from, science and surgery. But, Dom, who's the cover artist?
After all that we've been through, I will make it up to you. I promise you. And after all that's been said and done, you're just the part of me I can't let go.
I don't want to turn it off. It's so good, Dom.
All right, hit us with that artist who's covering this song, and you're off to Chicago / Earth, Wind, and Fire, July 31st at the Freedom Mortgage Pavilion in Camden, New Jersey. 855-839-1210. You get on board. 855-839-1210. Let's see if we can get a winner coming up on Talk Radio 1210.
Far away from the one that I love, hold me now.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Cancer, a scary word, but not so scary if you have the right team. Hi, this is John DeMasi, host of Health Watch, Sundays at 8 and again at 4 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. And that team is Dr. Molly Fantasia and the medical staff at Innovative Medical Associates. Yes, cancer is a scary word and a difficult condition if you've been diagnosed. Over the years, the staff at Innovative Medical Associates has helped hundreds of patients with their unique medical hydration protocols. Cancer support is a large part of the practice practice at Innovative Medical Associates.
We believe in medical hydration. We've improved it so much that we are able to help people across the board with challenges before they become chronic.
Talk about improving your quality of life. Most likely, that'll happen when you visit Innovative Medical Associates. Check them out on the web at innovativemedicalassociates.com or call 856-489-0505 to schedule your initial complimentary consultation.
Julia owed the IRS thousands.
I was paralyzed with fear.
Then
I heard a commercial for Optima Tax Relief.
Optima Tax Relief is the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau and experts in the Fresh Start Initiative.
Optima Tax Relief settled my IRS tax bill.
Call Optima now for a free consultation.
It was amazing.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Are you dealing with tax debt or unfiled tax returns and don't know how to make the problem go away? Is just the thought of dealing with the IRS giving you a panic attack? Let Legal Tax Defense take the pressure off of you. All tax relief companies are not the same, and all tax problems are complex and different. If you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS, the experienced tax attorneys and licensed enrolled agents can resolve the toughest cases. For over 15 years, Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating settlements for individuals and businesses just like you. All of their online ratings are A+. Even if you've received a threatening notice from the IRS, facing a wage garnishment, or have had your bank account levied, it's not too late to call Legal Tax Defense for a free, no-risk consultation. Get peace of mind and security knowing you hired the best. Call Legal Tax Defense at 800-962-2403. 800-962-2403. That's 800-962-2403.
Summer is here, which means pool days, beach trips, and yeah, you guessed it, traffic jams. Oh yeah, and heat waves. Don't let summer catch you by surprise. Get the local news you need, no matter what you're up to, with the free Odyssey app. And never miss a beat with alerts on breaking stories sent directly to your phone. Listen today on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
Hey, Clementon. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. WPHT.
It's the Money Melody.
Where has all the money gone?
Show me the money.
All right, that's right. Huge prize today. Great response. So be ready. We're coming to you. Let's hear the clue one more time.
Dom, today we're looking for the cover artist of this great Chicago song. One of my all-time favorites, My Tom Jones. Take a listen.
After all that we've been through, I will make it up to you. I promise to. And after all that's been said and done, oh, you're just the part.
All right, let's try Jane in Marlton to get a winner here, maybe. Jane, who's singing that?
Is it Barry Manilow?
Yes! Barry wins for somebody. We'll put you on hold. Enjoy Chicago, Earth, Wind, and Fire, July 31st at Freedom Mortgage Pavilion, Camden, New Jersey. For tickets, visit Ticketmaster.com. Tomorrow, we'll play for that again. So be ready tomorrow at around 2:15, 2:13,
Can I win
somewhere
my own
there.
prize? I want to go to
There
the
you
show.
go. Yeah, it's going to be a good one. All right, somebody just sent this to me. We'll check it out. I think the date is right because we mentioned, due to all the stuff that's been churning up here, Don Trump Jr. had to reschedule with us. So it will not be a week from today, the 30th of July. It will be September 12th, 2 days after the debate. But I believe, and I think the person that sent to me is right, Judge Marchand, I believe, sentences President Trump on that day. Wow. So that'll happen during the day. He'll be with us around 6:30, 7 o'clock that night over at the Scottish Rite in Collingswood. A lot of great spots to eat there, too, either before or after. So bottom line is that could sync out with that day. Can you imagine if we have Don Trump Jr. fresh off whatever the sentencing is, and you know the parameters now. This guy, legally, Marchand, has been way out of line. To start with, what could he sentence given the Supreme Court case on immunity, which throws out a good bit, well, enough, without a doubt, of the testimony, since it was in the official duties of the president in the Oval Office. Hope Hicks, for example. What's he going to do? You know, as we count down closer to that, you'll see Mark Levin last night was brilliant. He had on one of the Trump attorneys, and Levin was better even than the attorney. But breaking us down how boxed in this guy should feel. Does that mean he'll feel boxed in? No. And do the right thing? I would predict he still won't. But it's got to mitigate things a little bit, you would think. So we'll have Don Trump Jr. right after the debate and right after the sentencing, almost immediately. It'd be interesting backstage to see him. There are tickets available where you can meet him backstage. We have a big thing set up. Or you can get a seat, reserve seat, and get your book, Letters to Trump. I've told you many times why Trump put all those letters up there to show, prior to running for office, how well treated he was by some of the biggest names in the world. And as soon as he ran, they turned on him. Oprah, I get weepy thinking about you and I running as VP and president, she wrote to him. All right, so tickets, 1210WPHT.com, 1210WPHT.com. And I'd suggest you get in there and you lock it in because we already had a lot of people. So here's your opportunity to lock today. Just picture that night, and particularly if you want to meet, you'll have the ability to do that. It's going to be an all-timer, I think up there with the Nick Foles event, which was magical. All right, phone lines to get in. Oh, it's on the 18th, not the 12th. All right. Well, we'll make it the I don't know why the 12th was in my mind. There's something happened on September 12th, but it is 2 days after the debate. All right, 855-839-1210. You get on board. AT&T and Verizon Wireless, all you have to do is just push pound 1210, and we'll get you in. So the Secret Service has named an interim director. That still doesn't, the main thing is not getting rid of the woman in charge. The main thing is answering these unanswered questions. They interviewed today or had questioning of the Pennsylvania State Police Commissioner. What did he know? Who was in charge, et cetera? I'm glad to hear that they're doing this to get him on record. But we need to get on record who was in charge of the detail that day. President Biden is going to speak tomorrow night. We've seen him getting off the plane and all that stuff. He's going to speak tomorrow night about Kamala Harris. We've been talking about Harris, but J.D. Vance and, Democrats, you could argue now, since Joe Biden has dropped out and Trump has announced J.D. Vance, they have the chance, the last chance, like in hockey, to put on the ice who their VP is. Is there anything that's going to
you want to hear the new spin?
Challenge J.D. Vance? What is that?
You want to hear the new spin about Trump?
Yes.
Because Biden's now dropped out?
Right.
You know how you have pro athletes, like a quarterback takes a team that's like 4 years ago not doing well, and then now takes them to having a winning victory and says, I'm going to retire next year. Doesn't mean that quarterback can't play this year. And if you look at the record, Joe Biden, as the chairman said, he's done amazing things for our country. But you know who is not fit? Donald Trump. He is the oldest person running for president ever. He makes incoherent statements. He forgets people's names. He mixes people up. His cognitive decline is readily apparent. Donald Trump should pass the torch and withdraw from the race.
That dog ain't going to hunt, baby. People see Trump. They see how funny he is. They know his policies. They know what he's going to do. Not going to work. Also, what's not going to work long-term here, and there is enough time to expose why Kamala Harris has never been someone that they thought could actually carry this off. All right, we played countless things that she said and done here. So let's try cognitive decline on Trump when we were told don't talk about cognitive decline with somebody who obviously is feeling that. So tomorrow night and tomorrow, Benjamin Netanyahu comes to Congress, and Vice President Harris will not be in the room with him. She will have a private audience, and I'm sure they'll spin it out. She lectured him more about Gaza. And I know in talk radio all the time that I've done it, it's an age-old question. I understand it. It's unanswerable, which is, if you are in the Democrat Party, if you're supporting, voting, volunteering, donating, whatever it might be, and you're Jewish Americans, how in the world do you continue to do that? Supporters of Josh Shapiro, how in the world would you ally him with Kamala Harris and progressive elements of the Democrat Party who are definitively anti-Israel?
They're protesting Netanyahu.
Yes, they're walking out. They're protesting. Now, I don't know what the Dean of Decency is going to do to make a splash, or Mary Gay Scanlon.
Decency.
Let's think. Houlihan, I think, will stick. The Wild Woman, I think, will
I wonder
stick.
what Ilhan Omar will do. Rashida Tlaib.
Yeah, well, they'll probably go just to walk out. They'll be pushing each other to be the first one to walk out.
It's like the Simpsons meme where he walks in, grabs his hat, and walks right out.
Rather than not showing up. They are seething anti-Semites. All right, and Josh Shapiro is probably going to pay the penalty for that. But is the media going to cover a couple of stories? Josh Shapiro, how much is the media covered what we do routinely? We played a cut, John King and others vaguely saying it. Well, they probably won't pick Josh Shapiro because he's Jewish, he defends Israel. He's got the principal state. Arguably, I don't like it, but he would give you an edge in winning Pennsylvania. And you're not going to take that? Apparently, the rumor is that she likes Senator Mark Kelly, and Arizona is a swing state, but it's much lower ranked than Pennsylvania. If that's what you're going for, I think you got to go Pennsylvania. But I think she'll be told, nope, can't do that, and continue to keep your credentials about hating Israel. That can't be allowed. So I'm betting that that's going to get in their way here, their own mob. And you won't see Shapiro as the VP choice this time around. All right, but phone lines are 855-839-1210. You get in. AT&T and Verizon Wireless. All that you have to do is just push pound 1210. By the way, this is the right thing to do. A House committee has toured the site of the Trump rally shooting, and I think their reports, maybe we'll get somebody on at some point to talk about that. They're appalled, and they actually have had boots on the ground to see how this happened. So those questions are still, and Trump is starting to talk about this. Today he made remarks, I think, on Truth Social about the idea of they almost had me killed. What's going on here? They don't want to protect me. All right? It won't end with the head of the Secret Service gone. That's just one fall guy around this thing. It's the bottom line is to try to get to the bottom of the people that actually were making decisions that day. 855-839-1210, AT&T and Verizon Wireless. All you have to do is just push pound 1210, and we'll get you on board. Hit us on the side question, too. More calls coming up on Talk Radio 1210.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
We'll get down to 74 overnight. Occasional showers are possible. Wednesday, 86 will be the high, and some rain will stick around for the morning hours. Thursday, 86 again. Afternoon showers this time. Friday, it'll be mostly sunny, and 86 will be the high. The weekend looks pretty good. The high around 90 both days.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We recently received a call from an injured person. The insurance company had offered them $11,000. We took the case over and got more than $2 million in court. Morgan & Morgan.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
By scheduling an appointment to begin your educational process with Crash Proof Retirement, you'll see real statements from Crash Proof Retirement clients documenting how the exclusive Crash Proof Retirement system credits double-digit interest returns, even during the worst of recent stock market downturns.
Rob Lukens, Birdsboro, Pennsylvania. During COVID, when everything was going down in the stock market, we saw our investment with Crash Proof grow 15%, which was unheard of. Markets weren't growing that way. The interest we made through Crash Proof's investments, we keep it. We don't lose anything. We keep every penny that we invested. The worst that's going to happen is you keep your money. Crash Proof gives me great peace of mind. And I would recommend anybody who sees this or hears this to give Crash Proof a call. Pick the phone up, call. It's simple.
Schedule an appointment to begin your crash-proof retirement education. Call us at 1-800-722-9728 or visit crashproofretirement.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our Timeshare Exit Information Kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
Window Nation presents the 1210 WPHT Veteran Spotlight in partnership with the Travis Manion Foundation. Listen the first Wednesday of every month as Kale and Company shines a spotlight on a local veteran, highlighting their remarkable commitment to the community and their exceptional service in the military. Presented by Window Nation. At Window Nation, there's nothing more important than giving back to the communities we serve. For all of your window and door needs, visit windownation.com. That's windownation.com.
We buy any car. Why sell your car at WeBuyAnyCar.com? Because when you trade in, you're dealing with a dealer. And sure, they're interested in a good deal. For them, not for you. Come to WeBuyAnyCar.com instead. All we do is buy cars. You get in, get out, and get paid at a fair price. So don't take chances with a trade-in. Go to WeBuyAnyCar.com for a free online valuation.
Find out how much your car's worth at WeBuyAnyCar.
Don't count on summer heat to melt away those extra pounds. That doesn't work. But here's something that does work, and that's NJ Diet. For over a decade, NJ Diet has helped thousands of people lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days. That's nearly twice as fast as weight loss injections and without any of those nasty side effects. NJ Diet uses your hair, saliva, and blood work, along with scans to personalize natural solutions and supplements to get you to shed that fat quickly. Then NJ Diet uses your DNA info to help you keep the weight off. No shots, no prepackaged meals, and no surgery. NJ Diet is fully supervised every step of the way to make sure you are burning fat and not just losing water. You even get the doctor's personal email and phone number. Locations close by are available from anywhere with live online video consultations. Call 855-5NJ-DIET or schedule your consult today at njdiet.com. That's njdiet.com. Lose the weight for good.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
All right, a little bit off the beaten path, but it shows the lack of credibility of the Inquirer again, and I've been saving this up for such a moment. Then I'm coming to your calls. Dom Giordano Show. They asked a great question over the weekend. They took a survey of their readers. They asked where South Philly starts. Now, the ending, I think, is not really that debatable, although I would be more inclusive than they were, and I go all South Philly to where it ends. You can't go any further, that part. But where does it begin, meaning north to south? And they actually say, based upon everything that they can find, the popular choice of their readers, and apparently the Inquirer, was Washington Avenue with over 45% of the votes. That is ludicrous if you're from this area at all. Because if you say that, then you wouldn't be including 9th Street, so-called Italian Market and all that. How could that not be in South Philly? Sylvester Stallone, we should send this to him just so he can revise it. And if you go with that, You'd be taking away.
So are you thinking Christian?
You'd be taking away Carpenter, Christian, Catherine, Fitzwater, places like that. They say South Street is the beginning of South Philly. I think that goes a bridge too far.
No?
That's too far, I think.
No,
North. I would peg it a little bit less than that. But certainly, it doesn't start at Washington Avenue because you're leaving off, in my mind, what is really probably the heart of South Philly, 9th Street, and all the things around there. How do you leave that out and say that's South Philly?
I think there's a distinct feel when you cross over Lombard Street.
Oh, yeah, that's Center City. Yeah,
no, but I'm saying like Lombard, I think that could be considered because it encompasses South Street and
Lombard is definitely.
So you don't naturally include South Street within South Philadelphia?
No,
okay,
I would not. South Street's not South Philadelphia. I see that as Center City or quote in town.
Okay.
Yeah, you have Geno's.
I have no platform to stand here.
Yeah, Geno's and Pat's on 9th Street. According to the Enquirer, they would be left out. How's that possible? And saying this is South Philly.
So Fitzwater?
I guess I could live with that. Yeah. It could be a little debate. Yeah, it can go that far, I think. And then all the way down to, I would include the ballparks and all that. That's all South Philly.
I asked Fitzwater because Angelo's is on Fitzwater. And Angelo's is often written about South Philly pizzeria,
Okay. Yeah, but Washington Avenue sounds like a bunch of yuppies at the Enquirer. So if they don't know where South Philly begins, how in the world can we trust them on anything else? Well, we don't. They just provide fodder every day for us. By the way, the story the media is neglecting, and Dan, we're going to chart this each and every day. Yesterday, around this time, Scott Presler came on and said, and he's as official about this, he doesn't fool around, that Bucks County is now red. Don't you think that's a story from, I think it was 15,000 registrants in 2020, where Trump lost to Biden by several percentage points there. It was that blue or purple, deep purple, down to now where it's red. And wouldn't they be asking the question, man in the street, analyst, something, about how did this happen? Why is Bucks County now, on paper, red? Are they just going to say that people like Scott Presler and the Republican machinery have been more gung-ho out there? Is that it? Bucks County Courier-Times, now I haven't checked during the show, but their morning edition, it said no word on that. Wouldn't you think that'd be a two-part series? Why in the world was this ultimate swing county? Now Presler's on to Luzerne County. Why would it go red? Is it Trump? Is it Biden? Is it their lives, inflation, etc.? Why would you go from 15,000 ahead to down by hundreds now, and the arrow pointing to a lot more? Wouldn't that be an intriguing story? Now, if I ever woke up in Philadelphia, suddenly was red, I would know it's the apocalypse. There's nothing you can do about it. The world is ending. That's it. Philadelphia is now red. Something has happened. I can't imagine what would happen. They still wouldn't do it. And Philadelphia would cheat and not report it that it's red. And the Philadelphia Inquirer would say, no, it's not. So why is that the case? What happened in Bucks County? You would think that would be a heck of a story. Maybe we should get the Democrat Party on and ask them, why is that the case? Do they see something nefarious? Are they in their hovel over there? I mean, they were riding high for a while. I would say it was more than purple even. In 2020, 15,000 plus. It's still within the range of purple, but it's moving to blue. Yes, I see, Jim. Yes, that's the sign of the apocalypse. Larry Krasner's finally out. All right. Is Rob here on the side? I can't tell. So let me go to Rob in Landenberg. Hey, Rob, good afternoon.
How you doing, Don?
Good, Rob.
You guys doing a great show today, as always. You and Dan there holding up the fort there.
Thank you.
Great. Hey, I just want to talk to you about that Bashir thing real quick.
Yes.
How J.D. Vance combats that is going to be easy. You know, he comes Bashir basically goes after him for calling the coal miners lazy. Well, if you're J.D. Vance, all you have to say is, isn't your party the ones trying to put these guys out of business?
Well, that's right. Hillary Clinton, that cut. We're going to get rid of all that coal mining. Yep.
There you go. And then point two, going forward now that Kamala's, she's now the new, the person that, this is going to be I don't even know if they voted on her as of yet, but they say she has enough delegates to be the new presidentee of the Democrats. Well, her nickname, I don't know if you want to know this or not, is in my language is called Kamala. You know what that means in Spanish?
No, Rob. What does it mean?
How bad?
Okay. All right. Thank you, Rob. We'll have to get
Someone used that line at the convention. I forgot who it was.
Oh, did they? So
yeah.
I'm getting weary when I hear something like that. So I'm going to have to check it to make sure how bad. All right. 855-839-1210. It is the lightning round next. But I say that's a big story. That historically these suburbs have lost their mind. They've gone progressive even in some cases. They won election after election. You look at the commissioners. They're either a Democrat or, by and large, they're not even a rhino. Gene DiGirolamo, answer that, in Bucks County. And what did they run on the last time? Even the school board election. They were running on abortion again. Can they do it in 2024? They're going to try. But people are saying, what about my life? I think that's what these registrants tell us. In these kinds of numbers, 15,000 plus change, and by election day, it'll probably be 16, 17,000 change. That's remarkable. And can't we clone Scott Presler? That's what we need. Give him more resources. He's told us he's gotten some. But he is now training people by the hundreds around the country, even in swing states, to influence, not in swing states, to influence the swing states. It's a remarkable story. Should be a movie about him, but Hollywood would not believe it. All right, lightning.
Real quick, Kamala Harris it had trended on Twitter and social media at one point.
Okay.
But here at the RNC convention, I have the audio. It fell just as flat there as it did just now.
Our border czar, Kamala Harris. That means so bad. And we have enough bad. We need some good. We need goodness.
Try that with the Mountain Dew joke yesterday from Diet Mountain Dew. Is there such a thing? Why in the world? Who's buying Diet Mountain Dew, though?
Can you imagine the chemicals? Come on.
Yeah, right. The chemicals warding off the bad stuff. It's already in there. The bad stuff's going to overwhelm the other. You're just adding more chemicals to bother you.
Say that as I drink a Gatorade.
Yes. I don't know about Gatorade either. All right. 855-839-1210. That's how you get in.
Hi, it's Nick Kale. The first Wednesday of the month, we shine a spotlight on one outstanding local veteran on our Veteran Spotlight in partnership with the Travis Manion Foundation, celebrating their remarkable commitment to community service and their exceptional service in the military. Wednesday, August 7th, we honor Air Force veteran Kathy Christian for her service and contributions to the veteran community. Presented by Window Nation. For all of your window and door needs, visit windownation.com.
Harry, if you watch any more of those stupid financial shows, I'm filing for divorce.
How am I going to keep up with our retirement accounts?
At JML Financial Group, we want you watching your grandkids playing soccer and sunsets in Hawaii, not the latest rumor of a market crash. Surprisingly, with proper income planning, the stock market shouldn't even be a concern. The money came in every 2 weeks while you worked. It should be the same in your retirement years. Let us show you how. Call JML Financial Group today at 856-925-6674. That's 856-925-6674. Or at jmlfinancialgroup.com. So, when your neighbor's sunbathing in the front yard,
Harry, you're an idiot. Get away from the window.
keep your eyes focused where they should be, on enjoying your retirement. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Brokers International Financial Services, LLC, member SIPC. Brokers International Financial Services, LLC is not an affiliated company.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
A man who was hurt in Sunday's mass shooting in West Philly is now charged for the murders from the incident. Kamala Harris has enough pledged delegates to become the Democratic nominee for president, and a congresswoman is filing impeachment articles against the Secret Service director in wake of the Trump shooting.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. You may know me from my book, Money Hacks. You may know me from my radio shows, and you may even know me from some of these commercials. But listen, I'm teaching stuff that people need to learn about money. In fact, my favorite topic is money. So go to investorschooling.com and you will learn things about money that you never even knew existed. We will teach you things about real estate, about the stock market, and about how to use your IRAs properly. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Are you tired of hearing about the recession that's coming? Are you prepared for it? Well, listen, at investorschooling.com, we're going to teach you ways to prepare for the recession that you didn't even know existed. We're going to teach you strategies on how to use real estate. We're going to teach you strategies how to use the stock market properly. That's right, you can even make money in the stock market when the stock market goes down. Hey, go to investorschooling.com and register for a free class this Thursday night, and you will learn all of these techniques. Go to investorschooling.com right now, RSVP for this Thursday. We'll see you there.
Virtua Health, real patients, real doctors, real complex cases. Take one.
Open heart surgery, tear in my aorta.
The most complex cases come to us at Virtua Health.
I'm sure I wouldn't have been here without you.
Being a 45-year-old, not being able to walk up one flight of stairs, I had no idea I was in heart failure.
Virtua is a premier heart failure center in South Jersey.
They changed my life. It's truly a blessing.
Want to follow our stories? Go to virtua.org. Virtua Health, here for good.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet?
Not yet.
Do it today.
Okay.
At 1210 WPHT.
The time has come for the final test.
We usually call it the lightning round.
Overwhelmed with it today. Gorgeous Grandmom Day. So hit us with someone who has aged very well.
Got it to Gary.
Let's go to Gary in Newtown. Gary, who's yours?
One of the best guys that you have on your show, probably the hardest working attorney, lawyer on the planet that's still alive. Was never really much to look at before, but based on the 43 books that he's written and what he's done for civil liberties, Alan Dershowitz.
Wait.
Okay. Well, is he... Yeah. Well, that's kind of a Joe.
Silent.
He's kind of a Joe answer, yeah. With the Joe say. Okay. Bill in Palmyra, I think this is a pretty good one. Bill, who's yours?
Dom, good show, but my candidate is that Hall of Fame guy, Michael Jack Schmidt. He looks terrific in that broadcast booth on the weekends.
All right, that's a pretty good one. I've seen him. Haven't seen him in 7 years, maybe. In person, but he looked great down at Philly spring training. Ed, by the way, they think that Bryce Harper someday is going to be the Philly, not Mike Schmidt. No way. No way. No way. I don't know. He's the all-time #1 third baseman in baseball history.
If Harper gives us 2 World Series, you don't think so?
No. I don't care what he does. How do you top an individual, though, who hit 548 home runs before all the modern stuff and is the greatest fielding, other than Brooks Robinson, third baseman ever? You don't.
Well, you top it with a guy that's consistently in the MVP conversation for years on end and
Yeah,
wins multiple World
and
Series
Mike
for a
Schmidt
city.
won 3.
Well, that's true, touche.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty hard to do that with the Phillies. Ed and Delran's got one. Barb, Ed, who's yours?
Barbara Eden, 98 years old, if I got her age correct.
Barbara Eden is 98?
Wow.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I saw a picture of her on the internet, and 92. I could not believe how good she still looks.
All right, because I always take...
Jeannie is 92, Dom.
All right, 92. I always take Elizabeth Montgomery over Barbara Eden in that category. And, of course, Tina Louise over Dawn Wells.
Didn't we corner Pat Toomey with the same question?
Yes. What did he say?
I think was it I Dream of Jeannie versus Lucy, and he chose neither because...
That was, Pat Toomey.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He was trying to punt. He couldn't punt there.
All right, best answers, Dom?
Yes.
Dick Clark. Pretty good.
Great
All-timer. Yeah, Mount Rushmore answer. Newt Gingrich was a fantastic answer from Joe and X and hilarious.
Yes.
In that one, Alan Dershowitz kind of fits that role, too. Roseanne Barr, Jane Seymour, Raquel Welch, Mike Schmidt. I'm leaning either Dick Clark or Newt Gingrich. One of the two early answers, Dom.
I got to go with Dick Clark. Yeah, the Gingrich answer is brilliant, but it's too far outside for this joke.
We were very confused when we saw that on the board.
Yeah, that was, let's go with that. All right, tomorrow, another day. Laura Trump with us at 1 o'clock. Get your tickets. Don Trump Jr. now, September 12th, right after the big debate. Go to 1210WPHT.com. Rich Cioli is next. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050.